kweru mariwo oyade iye iye kwa oya sile kufoya o saguate oya kweru mariwo oyade iye kwa oya sile kufoya o saguate oya kweru mariwo oyade oya kweru mariwo yeah, oh, I do. Oya sile kufoya o saguate oya kweru mariwo oya de iye kwa oya sile kufoya o saguate oya kweru mariwo oya de iye kwa ho oya sile kufoya o saguate oya kweru mariwo oya de iye kwa oya sile kufoya o saguate oya kweru mariwo oya de oya kweru mariwo oya kweru mariwo oya de oya kweru mariwo oya de oya kweru mariwo oya de iye kwa oya sile kufoya o saguate oya kweru mariwo oya de iye kwa.
Alright, now we in for part 2. Alright, so you was here for part 1, right? If you was in class, we would just talk about Queen Nanni. We was breaking down a lot of gems on Queen Nanni. If you was here for part 1 just now, type part 1. Let me see who was in class. Type part 1 so I know how I'm going to gauge part 2. You know what I'm saying? If you was in part 1 just now, type part 1. We going in again. Come on. If you was in part 1 just now, we just was on live for like 3 hours, maybe more, breaking down Queen Nanni, who they call the Maroon of Jamaica. Now in part 2, we taking another trip. Now we over in America, and we're going to talk about her sister, Marie Lavo. Alright, good. So I see y'all. Let's do it.
Oya sile kufoya o saguate oya kweru mariwo oya de oya kweru mariwo.
Alright, cool. Yeah, I was just going ham for like 2-3 hours, you know what I'm saying? If you was here, you know what I'm saying, you caught a beautiful one. Now we're going on to part 2. So in part 1 just now when we was discussing Nanni, I was really telling you that she was not no slave, and she was really a high priestess, right? And this high priestess was really coming in from the land of America. She was one of the gods. She was a goddess. You know what I'm saying? And she was a high priestess that was tapped in with the science, well learned. You know what I'm saying? Highly intelligent and able to control mind, matter, and molecular structure. Now in part 2, I also showed you in part 1 where every time they break down, they also talk about this extra woman that was always in codes. They talk about this woman that always be dancing in the fields and singing enchantments, and all of a sudden she could pull up spirits and gems. And they said the same woman was also in the Haitian Revolution with Francois Macandal, and she came out in the middle of the fields and she started dancing and chanting spells, you know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden 18,000 plantations caught on fire. Now, since we already broke down Nanni, it's now time we break down and tell you who her sister Marie Lavo is. So now I bring you Marie Catherine Lavo. Let's go.
Yeah, oh.
So before you can even understand what this Marie Laveau story, you must first understand ancient Egypt and where it was. So we're gonna go on to Wikipedia. First name I'm gonna ask you about. Have you ever heard of a individual, a human being? His name is Father Crespy. Have you ever heard of Father Crespy before? Now we shall prove that ancient Egypt is in America, right? Have you ever heard of Father Crespy before? Because I like to introduce folks to new things. So just communicate with me, please, so I know how to, you know what I'm saying? Remember, I'm talking to a phone. I can't hear y'all. I can't, you know what I'm saying, see nothing but myself and hear myself. So interact with me, please, for part 2. All right? Have you ever heard of Father Crespy? No? Cool. Fine. Now let me introduce. Where you at, man? There we go. Give me Wikipedia first. Alright. Father Crespy. Alright, let's do this. How do I mute you, Ocean? Cool. Boom. Boom. First, peace, love, and high vibrations to all my elders. Peace, love, and high vibrations to my peers. 20s, 30s, 40s, you know what I'm saying? 50s, all that. You know what I'm saying? Love to youngsters as well. You know what I'm saying? High vibrational energies to all elements. High vibrational energies to all my ancestors and my spirit guides. You know what I mean? Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you for being a part of the live. You're about to experience some amazing shit for the next maybe hour that I'm live. Everything I show you will be all straight facts, and everything I show you will be based on evidence. And simply breaking out esoteric knowledge so you can see between the veil where the human beings are lying to you versus where the books are actually telling you a bunch of fugazi shit and you must know how to break it down. Okay? Now, let's go. Which are part of Spain and seventh largest island in the Mediterranean Sea. Let's keep it moving. So Father Crespy entered the Franciscan order, right? At the age of 17, he became New Spain which became New Spain in 1749, and accompanied explorers, so he was an explorer, right? Francisco Palo, let's see who he is. Francisco Palo was a Spanish Franciscan missionary, administrator, and historian on the Baja California Peninsula. See, they're talked about down here in America, right? They were Spaniards coming to conquer places in America, right? Now, pay attention because it's gonna get real in a second. You're gonna see why these Spanish conquistadors who posed as Christians and missionaries, what they was really explorers and conquerors, right? So California Peninsula. So down in California, before it became like an island down there, it used to be a peninsula anciently because the water wasn't that flooded down there that much and the sea wasn't covering as much of California as it used to. You know what I'm saying? So it used to be called the California Peninsula, right? And Alta California Palo made significant contributions to the Alta California and Baja California mission, blah, 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 blah. Now let's keep that moving, right? So in 1767, he went to Baja California Peninsula and was placed in charge of the mission La Purísima Concepción de Cordegomo, right? In 1769, Crespo joined the expedition. So now here go Crespy, the guy we talk about, Father Crespy, who posed as some type of religious leader, ends his name Father Crespy, right? Now, share the live, y'all. So share the live and tap the screen. Now, it says Father Crespy joined the expedition by Gaspar de Portola and Juniper Serra, and he traveled in vanguard of the land expedition to San Diego. San Diego is down in California, y'all. Led by Captain Fernando Rivera, where a presidio and mission were established. Crespy then continued with Portilla and Rivera to identify, you know what I'm saying? If y'all got a MacBook or a little spare phone on the side, just go on Wikipedia, type this so you can follow along with me. Because when I switch to the screen again and take over, we're going to take it off all these words. I'm just trying to get y'all to get a little quick biography story of who he is, because I'm about to get this real deep and break down the lies that they're telling you right here, right? So he joined Rivera, which is the captain that was leading the expedition, right? Basically, that's what they're telling you. You joined Captain Rivera, you know what I'm saying, Fernando Rivera, and Crespy posed as Father Crespy, as he was some type of religious leader, but he was not. He was a lie. You know what I'm saying? He was an explorer, come to conquer with the rest of them on the so-called expedition, or this mission to California in San Diego, as he done told you already, right here, San Diego, right? You know San Diego's in Cali, right? Now, he was one of the three theorists to document the first expedition or exploration by Europeans of interior areas of California. After reaching Monterey in October 1769, Crespy continued with expedition that explored as far as north present-day San Francisco and became one of the first European to see San Francisco Bay. All told, the expedition traveled in the future state of California through the present-day coastal counties of San Diego. All right? You got Orange, Los Angeles, Ventura. These are all counties in California where they went to and tried to conquer, right? Santa Barbara, you know what I'm saying, San Luis Obispo, Monterey, Santa Cruz, see all these Sandy, Santa, these are all Spanish names. That's how you know they was down there trying to conquer shit. All these names that you see here are Spanish names. Los Angeles, you know what I'm saying? All Spanish names. Francisco, all that Spanish names. Now, let's get up off of this for a second. Let's get up over there. All right. So, the so-called Father Crespy, you've never heard about him, and it's for a reason, right? Because in order to hide Egypt, they must hide Father Crespy from mainstream knowledge, right? So Father Crespy posed as a religious leader, right? But he was really an explorer, a part of an expedition, as you see right here. Now, this expedition that you're actually seeing, right? Now, they was coming to California. Who was ruling in California? Queen Califia, which is where they got the name California from. See what I'm saying? Califia, California. So after they wiped out the people of California, they renamed the state after the queen or the goddess Califia, and then you have the name California, right? Now, so this was an expedition, a conquering. That's why you see all these Spanish names down in California, San Diego, San Francisco, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, goofy. All these Spanish names came to come into conquer the realm. So after they conquered the realm and took over from Queen Califia, because remember, California had no men. California anciently had no gods down there. It was all feminine energy. You know what I'm saying? Just like how they talk to you about the Amazonian warriors and all that. Yeah? The Amazonian warriors and all that coming from, you know, where they make movies and sitcoms off with Wonder Woman. Who do you think they made Wonder Woman off of? They talk about Queen Califia. They talk about Amazonian warriors that was actually doing magical shit that the Greeks came and seen. You know what I'm saying? Greeks came and seen them doing magical shit. Then they start documenting us, start scribing what we actually was doing because it was too magical for them. We were vibrating on too much of a high frequency. You see? So down there in California, as you see Father Crespy and all of them coming on the expeditions and shit, they was going to California to conquer. You know what I'm saying? But it was a state of all feminine energy, straight goddesses, just like the Amazonian straight goddesses, because our women was warriors. I proved that already in part 1 where I showed you how Nanni, or Queen Nanni, was who taught human beings guerrilla warfare. Or the other name for guerrilla warfare is maroon warfare because she was queen of the Maroons, as they call her, right? So we taught them guerrilla warfare. It was a goddess that taught them that. It was also us that taught them the term ambush, because we used to literally dress up in the bushes as trees and jump out on them boys in the mountains. When they would try to march up in Jamaica and Blue Mountains, when they would try to go up in the Blue Mountain section, we would jump out on them, but we dressed as literal trees. But when you think about the word ambush, it's really saying I'm bush, like I am a bush. You know what I'm saying? Because we was dressed as a bush, so we became one with nature. And then we jump out on them. And then after we'd attack them, then the human beings would go back to their territory and start saying magical shit like, yo, they saw trees coming at them. But it was no magic. We were just using just our brain on them. You know what I'm saying? The Maroons. But we covered that. We covered that in part 1. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see that later on in the week, because we just did that maybe 3 hours ago. So when I finally post that up, you get to break that down too. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so Father Crespy and his gang, bunch of human beings coming to the planet, bunch of explorers, the Spanish conquistadors coming to California to conquer shit. Who was running down there? Queen Califia. You know what I'm saying? Bunch of goddess. After they murked her, they called the state after her. You know what I'm saying? Then they start making movies about her. Wonder Woman and all of them. You know what I'm saying? That was off of us. But they made Wonder Woman a white person. It's impossible, the things they do. Man. They're not that brilliant. They're really not. Now. Overstand. Father Crespy now, let's explain to you about ancient Egypt. Now you're going to see how Crespy is important to Egypt. Because I ain't breaking him down for no reason, right? Let's go to here. Never go up on what's his name again?
And now to something new and exciting in the AI space.
Cool.
Grammarly Go.
Y'all ready? We're going for Egypt now. Now you're going to see how we're going to tie in Father Crespy
artificial intelligence
to Egypt.
But also allows you to do things like setting your tone.
The Middle East and Assyria is fake. Though this may seem like a bold claim to some, it is unfortunately the truth. In the Middle East during the rule of...
We're going to use this video as a reference.
Other empires in the area did not even know of a land called Assyria or Assur.
Let's pay attention, y'all. I'll break it all down in like 5 minutes once this video is done.
The ruling elite has made it their mission to completely deceive the world of its history, then confusing and conflicting geography, even from the time the Library of Alexandria was burned. The artifacts that we see, called Assyrian or Babylonian, are actually fabricated and stolen artifacts. The artifacts that are labeled Assyrian, for the most part, don't even look Shemitic.
Just pay attention.
They have the exact phenotypes of white Europeans.
Fake. All this is fake. All this you're seeing, fake. Built by human beings and placed in the Middle East, where they call today
Assyria
Egypt.
Was in America. Its art style would have displayed Negro features rather than purely Indo-European.
American continent. Just pay attention.
The true Assyrians were, without a shadow of a doubt, the American mound builders. This was a proud mound-building civilization that was also warlike, advanced, tall, and conquered many tribes near and far. Just like scripture and classical history describes the Assyrians. Many Assyrian and Babylonian artifacts are complete fakes.
Fake.
Go into depth and prove
all this is fake.
Many, if not most, of the most famous artifacts from the false Assyria and Babylon are indeed forged. In fact, many of them were created as late as the 1930s. This is actually a very easy thing to prove. Let's look at some of the artifacts, shall we?
All this shit, fake.
As much as we love the concept of the Anunnaki, none of the large panels and statues of them are real.
Fake.
And I will prove it. Every single statue made is supposedly carved out.
Look, so what's going on here is, these statues that you see, right, they're made up of a thing called gypsum, alabaster. Now let's pay attention, you know what I'm saying? It says, it forms a phase of the art of Mesopotamia, right, differing in particular because of its much greater use of stone and gypsum alabaster for large sculpture. Pay attention, y'all. We coming in. We coming in, y'all.
A material called alabaster, one of the softest, most brittle rocks.
The Assyrians used a form of gypsum for the reliefs and carved it, right, using iron and copper tools. The stone is easily eroded when exposed to wind and rain when it was used outside. The reliefs are presumed to have been protected by varnish paint. That's what they're telling you. Watch.
Known to man. It is a
I'm putting together something for y'all to see.
That can be scratched by a mere fingernail. Why is this important? Because look at how they were supposedly discovered.
What?
Now, I have a few problems.
Now, why this is crazy is because if you understand what gypsum alabaster is, right? This is a very soft rock. Soft like chalk, soft like charcoal. I'm saying these, they tell you, they weigh about 40 tons, 20 tons and all that. If this was found falling on the side like it is, a 40-ton object, soft as chalk or soft as charcoal, so soft that you can actually scratch it with your fingernails. That's how soft this rock actually is. If a 40-ton object built out of something like that tumbled over, it would crumble into dust. Pay attention. Use common sense, beloved. It would turn into dust. Let's listen.
Images. Number one, alabaster is only a bit harder than chalk. There's
all these.
No way
all these. Look at them. They claimed they found these, right? Now from here, I'm at the mute it. This is for my brother. You can. I'm gonna put him. I'm gonna link him to. His name is Chief Maury. All right. So from right here, we gonna mute, or we gonna continue. Right. So you can see, because I don't want them to like block the video. Look. See how they found these? They found these on the sides. That's what they told you. But this was a lie. This is not a excavation site, but a construction site. Understand what you're actually seeing. This is not a excavation site. This is a construction site. These are little human beings, and they built these things here. They put them shits together, and they put them in the Middle East to fool you, to let you believe the lies that Egypt was really in Mesopotamia and Africa. These are lies. This entire thing is weighed about 40 tons, right? And it's made from gypsum alabaster, soft. If it fell over like this, it would have turned into powder, right? Let's look, observe. Where we at?
There's no way that these statues were made for the out.
Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Made. Look how perfect they are. But they tell you they're over 2,500 BCs and all that. Fake. All this that you see was built by the human beings. All this. Human features. That's why they had to cut off the nose and all that, so you don't know. Right? Fake. Let's pay attention, y'all. What's going on here is, look, pause. What you're seeing, you remember when they start telling you about ISIS? Let me show you. You remember when they start telling you, remember all the news media start talking about these ISIS members and all that? And they start putting ISIS all through the media and start pushing it to the forefront. What you're actually seeing on this camera right now, when I flip it back, you're actually seeing ISIS members going to Egypt and smashing these so-called ancient Egyptian statues. But you will be amazed to actually see what comes out when they start smashing the statues. So you have your ISIS members to thank for what I'm actually about to show you. Watch.
Many years. The truth is, these statues were not carved out of solid alabaster. They were most likely made of a plaster of some sort, or some sort of cement.
What is these? Steel beams. Look at them. Steel beams. As they start smashing them out, you see steel beams. Look, observe, y'all. Ancient Mesopotamians, as they would tell you, didn't know about these. They wasn't using these to build that. We built structures of solid objects. Look how we built the pyramids. We didn't need these. But as ISIS members begin to smash everything up, you start seeing them exposing each other, right? Now, steel beams were designed in the 1910, the year 1910. That was about like 100 plus, maybe about 120 years ago, okay? Pay attention, y'all. Don't let this go over your head. Steel beams was invented, maybe about 120 years ago in the year 1910, right? However, they would have you believe that these so-called statues and stuff in Egypt is over 2,500 years old, BC. Listen.
When ISIS began to destroy these idols, they noticed something very peculiar. There were steel rods within them. It was like something off of a Hollywood movie set. Those steel rods are actually called rebars.
Look.
Rebars are metal bars meant to reinforce concrete. They were invented in 1910 to hold together concrete. This is an invention that helped spark the Industrial Revolution.
Look.
Now, this is the information the elites don't want us to know. When we find out that they spent billions of dollars on faking Middle Eastern history, the hoax quickly begins to fall apart. Want even more proof that these statues were not carved from solid gypsum stone?
Let's go.
Look at this.
Look at this. As the ice, remember the shit I showed you earlier, that big ass statue looked like a lion with wings on it? Look, when the ISIS members start smashing at the top of it, look what is shown inside of it. It was actually hollow, right? And this is a block of concrete that they slide down into it. You know what I'm saying? This is the ISIS member. Look, y'all. He has a hammer in his hand, and he's smashing that shit. And as he smashed the face off, it reveals the actual concrete column that's actually inside of it. That's what makes it so heavy. This is actually made by them. Watch again.
The official story is that the Lamassu statues were carved from giant gypsum boulders and weighed 40 tons each because they were solid and not hollow. The above image confirms that to be a lie.
Facts.
The gentleman of ISIS standing upon the statue has struck off the top layer of the Lamassu's face, revealing a rectangular shaft of what appears to be cement. This shows that the statue is indeed hollow and perhaps even made of some sort of plaster like what is used in movie sets. Now, if that blows your mind, look at this.
This is a construction of this. I hope you're seeing what's going on. This is a construction of this. Yet they tell you this is over 2,500 years old. You see this? This is a crane. Let me zoom in. This is a crane, y'all. You think there was a crane around 2,500 years ago? Huh? This right here is a crane, a lifting object. That is this. Let's keep going. Come on, y'all. Come on with the commercials.
Look around. The world is changing
Zai.
fast. And while some people hang on to the way things
Commercials
have
on
always
us.
been,
Zai.
Now look at this image of an ISIS member destroying a...
Let's go again. I'm about to play about 2 more minutes of this, and then we're going to finish it on the way we know how to do it. I just need to expose certain things to you first.
But what's that in the top left corner? Is that a hot rolled structural steel beam or a C-beam sticking out?
Look at what's happening, y'all. What's this over here? What's this? Ain't that a C-beam? So you got to know how to find the facts, man, and the clues. You got to look with the third eye, man. After they start smashing these so-called ancient structures, is this not a steel beam? Let's keep going.
out of the temple. Steel beams were invented in the late 19th century and brought about.
Is that not what you just seen protruding out of that so-called statue? Huh? Let's go.
The Industrial Revolution. This palace is said to date back to the 3rd century BC.
Hear that?
But here's the thing, in the 3rd century BC, no one used C-beams to build temples.
Facts.
The only artifacts of claimed Mesopotamian stock that we can conclude to be authentic are smaller artifacts like cuneiform tablets, small mirrors.
All that Egypt shit is fake.
Pottery and jewelry. These would have been taken from America and relabeled as Mesopotamian.
Facts.
With close examination of the image, we can clearly see that the jewelry and pottery are American stock. The artifacts are made out of solid copper that has been deoxidized with a salt scrub to look brand new. During this time in the Middle East, copper was extremely rare and had to be mixed with other trace minerals like
pay attention, y'all.
To make things like
I'm only getting started. Y'all know I do.
Sometimes they even would mix copper with gold to make things like.
They tell you, see all them artifacts you just seen, all copper artifacts, but they tell you it's found in Egypt. The largest copper mine is found in, where does that say? Utah. The largest copper mine is found in Utah, Bingham Canyon. Other major mines are found in Arizona, Michigan, New Mexico, Montana, South America, Chile. The world's largest producers, and Peru are both major producers of copper. You see Mesopotamia anywhere. Let's keep going.
Like rose gold. But we know that the Americas produce more copper than anywhere else on Earth.
Facts.
Specifically Utah, which has the largest copper mine on the planet. And America's Great Lakes just so happen to be the hotspot for copper artifacts, having more copper artifacts found in that region than anywhere else on Earth.
Let's go.
But here's the thing.
Earth's largest and purest copper deposits are found around North America's Great Lakes, and at some point, Native Americans learned to harvest the ore and heat, hammer, and grind it into tools. Let them tell.
No country in the Middle East produces copper, at least not enough copper to trade.
Look, where Mesopotamia is supposed to be, over here in Africa, y'all. You see copper nowhere, y'all. Tell me, y'all. Look at the American continent when it comes on to copper. Do you see it here? This is showing you the copper disbursement. Producers, look. You see it in Africa? Remember, they ain't tell you come from Europe, so that don't matter. We focused on Africa and here. Skip all that. Now, let's get to Father Crespy. So this is who I really got onto this video for.
Father Crespy in Ecuador.
Now, you remember I brought up Father Crespy earlier. This is what he looks like. Let me holler at y'all for a second. Let me greet my spiritual family. Family, y'all remember when I spoke on Father Crespy in the beginning of the life? Huh? Do y'all remember? Drop a 9 if you remember. Come on, I told you I'm talking to a camera and I'm here by myself and I need y'all to work with me. Please communicate with me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember earlier when I talked to you about Father Crespy, if you was here in the live. All right, cool. So I told you Father Crespy was a human being. Now, notice all them ancient artifacts I just showed you that they say so-called is in Egypt and they weigh 40 tons. You're going to realize they're not anciently that big. And you're going to see where they actually got them from. Now, let's look at Father Crespy. If you was late to live and late to the class, it's not my fault, beloved. I got a job to do.
For some artifacts that were given to him by the indigenous people of South America.
Look at Crespy, y'all. He claimed the indigenous people. Remember, I read him, or I broke him down on Wikipedia, right? They told you he was a human explorer, conquistador, right? Father Crespy. The name Father Crespy suggests he's religious. So he's coming with Christos, Christianity, Christ, right? From Spaniards, conquistadors, right? And he claimed some ancient people. Remember, I told you in California, you had ancient goddesses that lived in there. So, and I showed you how they renamed a bunch of names in California to San Diego, a bunch of Los Angeles, a bunch of Spanish names. That's because after the conquistadors took over, right? So now he's telling you, you know what I'm saying? They snitching on themselves. He's telling you, Father Crespy linked up with ancient people in the land of California, and he got some gifts from them. Let's see these gifts.
People who interviewed Father Crespy said this. We asked Father Crespy how he came by such marvelous things. He said he headed the local parish over 50 years after studying at Italy's University in Milan, where the subject of archaeology had caught his interest. Following graduation, he became a priest and was assigned to Ecuador's beautiful city of Suensa to work among the Indians. In time, he came to love them. Moreover, in South America, he had opportunity to further his archaeological interest. To his great surprise and delight, the
you're gonna see how you're gonna get to it. Look. You remember seeing this? Huh? Do you remember seeing this earlier when I'm telling you all that shit is fake? These are anciently found in California, in America. These. Look.
Excited, brought a host of Indians bearing gifts to the kind man who performed baptisms and marriages and was their friend in trouble. Aware of Father Crespy's enthusiasm for archaeology, the grateful Indians brought him ancient objects long hidden in the jungle. He was a private person with a big heart and a deep interest in the past. Where and how do the Indians find these incredible things, we wondered.
Look at them.
They just get them from the caves and subterranean chambers in the jungles, he answered in an offhand manner. There are over 200 kilometers of tunnels starting here in Suensa. They run from the mountains down to the eastern lowlands near the Amazon. Now, why is this important? This is important because Father Crespy had an archaeological collection of ancient Egyptian, ancient Sumerian, Babylonian.
He had all of them. Look.
And things beyond identification.
Look. Don't it look like these?
That he had were made out of pure gold, which shows that these are not forged because nobody fakes artifacts with gold. But among these artifacts is the same lamassu that they show us today in the Middle East.
The same thing.
Is a small trinket, an idol made out of solid metal. There was also another Mesopotamian god in his collection with the head of an eagle.
Yeah. Now you see where they getting all the goofy shit over there from. They built it. Okay? They built it. They found it and relocated it. You know what I'm saying? You are gods on the American continent. Okay? Gods. Remember what I'm telling you. Most divine. Land of America is the land of the gods and goddesses. Remember that. All right? These are human beings, not gods. Human beings. Father Crespy, he's a human being. What he holds in his hand is Thoth. Ancient Egypt. This is from ancient Egypt. So, the argument is ancient Egypt is here in America. It was not over there in the Middle East. It was here. Right? California and downwards was ancient Egypt. Let's keep going.
The same thing that we can also find in the Middle East. But remember, like I told you, the ones in the Middle East are indeed fake.
But it already is an original, but there is the same statue, the same form in the British Museum.
Everybody, it's Tony.
Come on with y'all goofy shit, man.
I'm right now because I'm mad.
I'm trying to see none of the humans right now.
Living in fear. I'm so tired of everyone trying to control our.
Y'all see what's going on though?
So I've worked really hard in this last year to reach people wherever they were when they needed it most.
Oh yeah, they don't want to see what we talk about today. We got a small class and that's great. They don't want to see what we talk about today. Let them go. Let them leave. It's beautiful for me. You know what I'm saying? I can focus on Luke's tiny questions. You know what I'm saying? It's time for us to focus on little tiny questions. So since I have a smaller class today, beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
If you don't own your future, somebody else does.
I'm telling you. Now,
it's very possible that Sumerian artifacts like these could be found all throughout the entire Americas, but were quickly
that whole video you can go watch for yourself.
And hidden from the public. But then later in the 1900s, were then faked.
Let's get to them.
A lot of these Mesopotamian.
Let's get to them right now.
the Behistun inscription should decay at a much faster rate than the Sphinx in Egypt. The Sphinx in Egypt is only like 2,000 more left in Egypt, where the Great Pyramids, a few tombs, and speaking of Egypt,
now let's get to them.
The majority of the monuments and great statues that you can find in Egypt today are indeed fake. Don't get me wrong, there was an Egyptian society in that area, but the majority of the architecture simply just no longer exists. It was either weathered away or buried under the sand. So in order to make this place seem more intriguing as a historical site, they had to fake a lot of architecture and artifacts. In reality, the only remaining
human beings on a construction site. In the whole video, I'm going to break down how they designed this shit right here. And I'm going to show you how this face really represents George Washington. Okay? Right here. This is a Masonic image. That's why they had to cut the nose off. This is really the image of George Washington, the so-called first president of they country that they built. Right? I'll show you that to you in a whole nother live. I'll break this down by itself and show you how they tried to redesign him because he was a Mason, Freemason. Let's keep going.
Of ancient Egyptian society that was left in Egypt were the Great Pyramids, a few tombs, and the Sphinx, which was also buried under the sand for the most part. Just like many of the Mesopotamian statues, we can also find more rebars and metal armature in the ruins of Egypt. This is an image of the Karnak temple. As you can see, there's metal armature.
We ain't even get to the gems yet, yo. I'm just only getting started. We ain't get to the gems yet. This is nothing.
Like a Hollywood movie set.
It's nothing.
During this quote-unquote excavation, they had
so-called excavation, right? But look, they're not bringing dirt away from the site. They're bringing bricks and blocks. They got a whole trolley system, train system set up, y'all. Look how goofy they think you are, right? If this is an excavation site, the only thing should be going on is dirt digging up, okay? These are perfectly designed blocks, no dirt on them. These goofies are bringing it in to the construction site. I'm trying to paint the picture for you because you've been lied to. You have been lied to, beloved.
Had to construct a railway in every spot that they were excavating. If you think about it, that makes absolutely no sense at all. Why would they need to construct a railway just to dig up a city?
Exactly.
Or you may think, oh, they needed to put the dirt in the trolley to move it away so they can continue to dig up. But if you look at this image, they're not putting any dirt in the wagon. They're putting bricks because they're bringing the bricks to the site, not away from the site.
Come on, y'all. Come on. Come on.
The truth is, they created that railway.
A picture turns 1,000 words,
so
y'all.
They continue to bring brick after brick to build it up. This is not a picture of an excavation. This is a picture
construction.
Of a construction.
Facts.
Look at this early image of the ruins of Pylon in Karnak. As you can see, it couldn't have been under the sand for thousands of years, as the previous photo suggests. We know that they did not just excavate this because there are baby palm trees within the structures. This shows that those structures on the ground were not recently dug up. The palm trees are the only vegetation in the entire area. That means that they were recently planted. And all those palm trees are the same exact age as the structures. Also in the side of the structure, there are 4 holes for metal rebars that would not even be visible if the structure were dug up out of the ground.
Come on.
Now let's look at a more recent photo of the same structure.
Come on.
From another angle, we can see those same palm trees are now fully grown adults. Also, there's a lot more vegetation than previously. Now look at this photo of the same structure. As you can see, there's a crane above it.
I have one.
To it, you may ask. Well,
magnetic sodas. Type in God King. God King, Indiana. You're going to see him.
Most famous statues. The Abu Simbel statues.
Go back. Go back. We now get into the gems. Now we about to drop gems for real. Now the live is about to get serious. Share the live.
Here's this image of
Share the live. A construction site. Look, y'all. Look, man. With your third eye, man. It's time for you to stop seeing with what they want you to see. It's time for you to see things for what they actually are. Okay? It's time to increase the vibration of the mind. Increase the vibration of the soul. Knowledge is power. And if you vibrate on correct knowledge, you naturally increase power. You naturally increase the vibration. As I've told you many times, these human beings tell you you're only using 10% of your brain. What do they mean by that? They're simply trying to tell you, as an electrical god, currently you're only using enough electricity to only conduct enough power for you to put out only 10% of brain power. And they lied to you and they told you the next percent of it is 90% junk DNA, right? The reason why you have 90% junk DNA, like they're telling you to just sitting there waiting to be activated, is because you are not being, I would say, you're not pumping out in the proper frequency of electricity. So they're only having you vibrate on only 10% of the electricity that your avatar actually needs. But you need more than that. See what I'm saying? You need more. You're an electrical being. Everything about you is electrical. Electricity is the reason why you can move in the first place. Everything moves on electricity. You know what I'm saying? Your car does move without electricity. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how much gas you put in it. Without electricity, nothing works. Electricity is one of the basic forms of life. It is what causes movement. If you look at your blood, which is what they call the life force, right? Your life force, aka the blood, carries a form of energy in it that is lightning. You have lightning coursing through your blood. This is the reason why they tell you you have plasma running through your blood. Why? Because another name for lightning is plasma energy. Plasma or lightning or electricity is all the same thing, beloved. Beloved, it's all the same thing. So when they tell you plasma energy is lightning, where does lightning come from? I break this down to you too many times. It comes from the ground. Lightning comes from the ground. It never came from the sky. They're lying to you. These are all lies. You know what I'm saying? All lies. Lightning does not come from the sky, beloved. It comes from the ground because the earth naturally produces electricity. That's why they tell you to go ground yourself. And you gave you rubber shoes to block your electrical flow to connect to the sole of the feet. I talked to you many times to let you know about the 9 eyes, the 9 senses. You know what I'm saying? All these 9 number codes because you're 9 ether beings, right? From the 9th universe, living on a planet in a galaxy called the Milky Way, in the 18th galaxy called the Milky Way, on a planet the human beings called Earth from the word Iridu, from the Sumerians. However, though, you came here from the 19th galaxy in the Sirius star system. In the 19th galaxy, you descended here to the 18th galaxy in the Milky Way. They've been lying to you for too long. They told you you're the only thing in the cosmos and nothing else exists besides you. If this is the truth, then why are you all the way in the 18th galaxy right now? How did you get here? You see, you entered onto this realm through your mother's portal, where you call a vagina or a womb, right? But this is a portal. And the process by which you call birth is simply you entering or descending from higher realms. And you descended on this planet. You are not the vessel. You are living within this vehicle. Every being on the planet needs a vessel to operate in. On any other realm that you go to, you always will need a vessel to operate in. It might not look like this, but you must need a vessel because you are not these vessels. These are just vehicles for us to traverse the universes because we are multidimensional beings. You see what I'm saying? Multidimensional beings. So when they tell you you only live once, they're just lying to you. You're a god. You don't die. You transcend. You just simply give up the avatar and you choose what other planet you choose want to traverse to. You don't die. You're energy. Science will tell you energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only transform from one form to another. Now, if this is true and you are a raw form of energy, the purest divine form of dark matter energy, therefore you cannot die. You can only transcend or ascend and transition because you're a pure form energy. So you can only lose this vessel, which goes back to the dirt. But naturally, you are actually within the vessel as a soul and a spirit existing and coexisting as one, right? Which creates your aura, right? Because you know your spirit is your electricity. We talk about this too many times, right? Your spirit is your electricity. Your soul is your magnetism. The human beings don't explain this to you. They only tell you that you have a spirit and they tell you you have a soul. But where is it and what does it do? See what I'm saying? You must vibrate on proper frequency. You know what I mean? So the soul magnetizes things. It has the characteristics of rhythm. It also has the characteristics of creativity. So that's 3 properties: rhythm, magnetism, creativity, right? The spirit, on the other hand, deals with electricity. Now, the spirit is what creates that heartbeat. Boom. That's why when like I always discuss with you, when a person gets into a traumatic situation, usually they go to the doctor, you see them shock them like, bzz, clear, bzz, clear. I'm saying, bzz, clear. You see what I'm saying? What are they actually doing? They're revolting the vessel because you're naturally, they understand that you're electrical beings. So to do that, they have to recharge you because your electrical voltage are running low. So they charge you up.
Who's famous?
You see what I'm saying? They charge you up. That's all that is about. You feel me? Because they know you're electrical. So, as a result, that's your spirit. Now, that's your life force, that plasma energy, that course of lightning that's running through you. You know what I'm saying? Your life force. You see what I'm saying? Now, your soul is in the gut, the stomach. See what I'm saying? That's why when women fall in love, they say, I feel butterflies in the stomach. See what I'm saying? Because the magnetism from the gods is being attracted to the magnetism of the opposite person that you're speaking to, whether it be male, female, female, male, whatever it be, vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Now I could care less how you enjoy yourself. You know what I'm saying? That got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? But the attraction comes from the soul. You know what I'm saying? And the soul is located in the gut. That's why you say have that gut feeling. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you feel something like, damn, I just feel that shit in my gut. Like I shouldn't have went, shouldn't have did this, I shouldn't have did that. But it's in the soul and it's in the gut. You know what I'm saying? Now, soul is magnetism, spirit is electricity. When they come together, they create a force field. The force field is what human beings call the aura. We break that down too many times. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna get too many times. But now, let's get back to it right quick. Let's get back to it. And you already know the aura is basically like a force field, an energy field that's around all people. You know what I'm saying? Every being has electricity. See what I'm saying? So therefore, for example, when a person walk in a room, right? Sometimes you don't see them, you ain't even hear them, but as soon as they walk in, you can feel that energy. What is that? Why did that happen? How can you just, you know what I'm saying? You ain't see them, you ain't hear nothing, they just come in, but you turn around immediately. Some people just naturally have that magnetic aura about them. They pull you in. You know what I'm saying? So I'm simply explaining to you what the aura is, what the human beings call an aura. It is simply the scientific process of the spirit and the soul coming together as one. And the spirit is electricity, the soul is magnetism. When electricity and magnetism come together in science, they call it electromagnetism, right? And this what that creates is a force field, naturally. It's a force field. And all beings have this force field or energy field around them. Okay, you just can't see it because you have not been trained to see it, but it is there all the time. All the time. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, there was a human being. I appreciate you, beloved, Chanel. There's a human being by the name of, I think his name was Walter Kilner, right? And Walter Kilner invented these things using a goggles. And what he did was invented the night vision goggles for the military. And the military started using these night vision goggles. And what they did, what this night vision goggles did was it started exposing the aura of a person, like their energy field. Like instead of seeing the person, when you put on the goggles, you see their actual energy, as a force field is flourishing from the vessel. Now, when they start doing it, and it showed up in form of different colors, because each of us vibrate in different colors. See what I'm saying? Because you have 7 chakras, and each of these chakras line up, and each of these chakras have different colors. For example, the red one is the root chakra, the lowest vibrational color. You have the violet, which is up to the crown chakra. You know what I'm saying? So it goes in colors, also is organized in the form of vibration. Every color has a vibration to it. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at the chakra chart, when you see monks meditating and all, if you look at the chakra chart, they're going in a series of colors, but they're not just random colors being placed on the chakra chart for no reason. They're putting it there because each color are descending. You know what I'm saying? They're descending from a higher vibration to a lower vibration. Why is that? You also existed in these colors before you start coming out to these brown vessels. Like I'm telling you, when you come through your mother's portal, you descended onto the planet. See what I'm saying? You descended down here. So when you existed at this higher form, you were also existed as violet, blue, green. But as you descended on the planet, as you look at life itself, everything that's living is green. Look at Earth. Everything that's alive is green. When plants are going brown, it's because they're going dead. You know what I'm saying? Same thing as you. That's because you are demetamorphosizing. You're de-evolutionizing. You see what I'm saying? You started off, like I always explain to you, the 33rd dimension, God beings. But you have been changing in frequency and being lowered both in size and knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And as you lower yourself in knowledge and frequency, you're becoming smaller and smaller and smaller beings. You were 30 to 40 to 50 feet tall. You know what I'm saying? Now you mere down to damn near can't even get up to 5-6 feet tall. You know what I'm saying? You don't understand these things because most of us is stuck in the Bible and we don't realize all the other gems that actually surrounding the planet. And some of us is only stuck in the Quran, some of us is only stuck as Buddhists, some of us stuck as Jews. You know what I'm saying? But the truth is, all these are separations. You know what I'm saying? All these are simply separations. But if you would combine all of them and start reading them simply as books, and not as this is going to take me to God and all that, just simply read them as books. Read the Quran, read what the Torah talk about, read the New Testament, Old Testament, read what the Buddhist monks talk about, study what they talk about with the devil and how he violated, study all the stories. Then you begin to put a conclusion together. Because for example, if 10 people is in a room having an argument, but you only pull out one of them and let this one person tell you the story, then he or she might lie about the story. But in order for you to figure out the truth, you must gather all 10 of them. You know what I'm saying? Gather all 10 of them together and break the whole story down. You know what I'm saying? One by one, let me hear your shit, your shit, your shit, your shit. And when you get to all 10 of y'all, then we're going to break down the facts from the lies. See what I'm saying? So if you're stuck in one book is what I'm saying, or stuck in one religious world, you won't get to figure out the true divine nature of self. You will only be forced into a certain indoctrination. And this is a false bringing. Because see, let's say you wasn't born in America and you was born as a Chinese person. You would naturally be praising Buddha. And if you were born, and if the Chinese man was born a Chinese man and he was born over here in America, he would be praising Jesus. Or you would be a Muslim and all that. So depending on the territory that you're born in, normally can decide what culture or religious figure you become a part of. Depending on what your parents is, becomes what religious faith you follow as well. Most of us don't get the opportunity to actually study self and break down knowledge for self and get to really dive into things, because long before you get to make a decision for yourself, you're told what to believe. You get what I'm saying? You're already programmed what to believe. Before you can ever start even reading for self, they're already telling you what this is, what that is, and all that, so you don't understand self. See what I'm saying? But when you start actually growing out of the indoctrination process and actually start reading for yourself and reading for discernment, you know what I'm saying? You get to see between the lies and break down the veils. You feel what I'm saying? So you must be able to look at all the documents, not just one. Study them all and realize where the lies is from where the truth sets itself apart. Right? Now, let's pull up this image real quick. Let's get back to it so we can finish Egypt so I can go to Marie Laveau. Construction site. See them? They're building it. Right? They're building it. This is a crane. See? Human beings, small people. When they came on your realm and seen you in your magnificent form, they were always small people. They and the ancestors of these human beings, that's a part of all this lies that you see going on. You know what I'm saying? These beings are who use, medicines and food and low vibrational frequencies and eugenics as the years went by, and all these different jabs that they give you in your system in form of immunizations and all that. You know what I'm saying? These things change your genetics, and as your genetics become altered, as you begin to have babies and the future generations of you begin to get smaller beings, right? They're engineering you. You know what I'm saying? Your food blocks your pineal gland. There are certain foods that you eat that stop you from being as spiritual as you're supposed to be. Naturally, you don't even understand that your food is engineered to against. Some foods are engineered to go against your mind. Some food are literally toned towards certain chakras. Some foods, why you think, as I broke down colors earlier, and I told you, every color is a vibration. Don't you see even in the plant kingdom, fruits are divided into certain colors for a reason. You see what I'm saying? They go together for a reason. You have certain fruits that's yellow, certain fruits that's orange, certain fruits that's green, certain fruits that's red. You know what I'm saying? They're grouped in colors for a reason. Remember that. Now, this structure right here, what they're building up, is the same structure over here. Okay? Let's keep going.
The Abu Simbel statues. In the 1960s, when the Dam of Aswan...
Look at this, y'all. When the dam was about to flood, right, in the 1900s, look what they did. They took it apart, y'all. See this? When you look at these statues, wherever you see these little joints, this is where they connected them, using these steel rods. You know what I'm saying? See this separation right here? This is how you know this is not a whole object that was carved into no wall or none of that, right? This was put together. The feet right here where you see this connection. Same thing over here. There's another separation and connection. Pay attention to what's going on. That's why you see they can separate the knees. Look, same thing going on. Human beings, right? This is a construction site.
Was being constructed, they had to deconstruct the statues and move them. Pay attention to...
These are them statues. You see how they just separated the knees and all that? This is the statues.
How easily they took apart the statue.
Look. Look. Crane. Crane. They taking off the heads and all that. See the ears right here? This is the ears, y'all. This is the ears. I hope y'all can see. This is the ears. Look where they got the head. It's going upwards. They're taking it off because they had to deconstruct it so they can move it because they claim it was being flooded. You telling me something that been there over 2,500 years can't stand a flood? Huh? Stop playing. Live footage, y'all. Live footage, y'all. Told y'all I'm not playing. I'm just warming up. Look. Look, y'all.
They took this apart like Lego blocks. They knew how to take the blocks apart so easily because they.
No, it's not. That's not my YouTube page. That's that's my first page when I do music and all that. But my real page with these gems, you're gonna find it as just type in God King Indiana. You know what I'm saying? And look our magnetic soul. Somebody, you know what I'm saying, please type it in the comment section for them. Please, I appreciate you. Just look me up on all platforms. I'm the same name. God King Indiana, you know what I'm saying? Or magnetic soul. All being put together, y'all. Look. 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 Look at this shit. Wow. But this was being built, right? This was being built. In 2,500 years ago, before Jesus, huh?
They took this apart like Lego blocks. They knew how to take the blocks apart so easily because they were the one that
put this shit together.
In the first place.
Look at this. Where I tell you, wherever you see these lines at, see them lines? Wherever you see them lines at, that's where they join them together. I'm trying to get y'all to see between the veils, man. Look, man. You see these structures? These are not one solid objects. These are designed and constructed and put together like Tetris type shit. Look, look.
And here's a close-up of the head of one of the statues on the ground. And as you can see, there are those holes again. Are those the outlines of...
Look at them. Piece by piece, y'all. Look at them. Human beings. Human beings. See? Bunch of lines. Bunch of lines. Bunch of lines. See what I'm saying? That's where they structured this.
Blocks on the head of this statue? Well, that would be impossible.
Help them in the comment section, y'all. Please drop the YouTube down there for me, please. But right now, I got stuff to do.
It's time to improve your writing
Hold
game
up, y'all.
with Grammarly. It's time to improve your writing
we gonna
game
skip your
with
goofy shit too.
Grammarly Go.
You ain't dropping
Grammarly
gems,
Go
baby.
is an AI service that offers
nothing to slow or
Now let's look at the tomb of King Tut. This is a 3,300-year-old room that was discovered containing the dead body in it of King Tut himself.
Right.
This was the most famous archaeological discovery of Egypt of all time. And the famous golden head of King Tut himself has been used as a symbol of Egypt all around the world.
Lachey Crystals, I appreciate you, beloved.
The tomb is fake.
Fake. All that shit
the
fake.
tomb may be real, but a lot of the things inside of the tomb just so happen to look very sketchy and staged. The tomb was basically an underground storage chamber consisting of about 4 rooms full of preserved food, special items, wall paintings. When archaeologists found this, in pure disbelief, they immediately snapped photos of it. In these photos, you can clearly see that not one item has even a bit of dust.
All looking like copper objects.
All this stuff was just sitting in a non-ventilated
and then
room
shows you
with
where it produces the most copper.
For 3,300 years, and nothing got dusty. Everything should be literally coated in dust, as if it
don't
just
got
snowed
time
in
for
there.
this. All right, so appreciate my brother right here. That's Chief Mora. All right. Peace, love, and high vibrations, beloved. Now we can't stop doing all these videos for a while because I be getting tired. I be just been doing that so y'all can see for yourselves. But sometimes they don't go deep enough for me because I be trying to find little clips and little people that be talking and go the closest to what I'm trying to get y'all to go. But I appreciate my brother at least for breaking down little clips. You can see how they putting all this shit in Egypt together. Told to talk about they was over there for 2,500 years. These were lies. Saying lies. Ancient Egypt is here in America. The capital of Egypt is Memphis. That's why till this day, down in Tennessee, you still find Memphis. It's Memphis, Tennessee for a reason. Shout out to Dolph. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, Memphis. Right? Here. Gilead. Let's break down some places. Gilead. in Hebrew means rocky region or Rocky Mountains. Where is the Rocky Mountains? Where is it? Rocky Mountains in America. Come on, know yourself. Know your land. The Rocky Mountains is here. They talk about places like Sodom and Gomorrah. Huh? Sodom and Gomorrah. Where they claim some angels of God turned the place into a bunch of salt. Where's the largest salt deposit? Utah. They call it Salt Lake City. Ancient Sodom and Gomorrah. Stop playing with us. They tell you the Middle East. They told you the Middle East, right? The Red Sea is in the Middle East. And Moses crossed the Red Sea. More lies. The Red Sea is here in America, and they call it, it's down there in California. And all they did was change the name. It's called the Vermilion Sea. What does the word vermilion mean? Because all they do is confuse you with words. Words are spells, right? So all they do is confuse you with these words. So now they call it vermilion. But the word vermilion means the brightest shade of red. The brightest shade of red. So it's still called the Red Sea till this day. They just changed the name and call it the Vermilion Sea. You see? Now, hold up.
But as you can see,
Let me show y'all something. Hold up. Vermilion Sea. And you shall see. It's actually red. Come on, beloved. Where you at, baby? Where you at? Trying to find a picture real quick so y'all can see what the Vermilion Sea actually look like. And it's actually red. Y'all can miss me with the goofiness. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm having enough of all that lies. Because all of this is to talk about Marie Lavo, the ancient high priestess. One of the most magical gods that ever walked around. Or goddesses, I should say. This is the closest one I can find for right now. I ain't trying to take too long with this one. And this is nothing. A lot of times, it's actually completely red because it's from natural algae that form in the water that makes it the color that it is, right? So there's certain times of the year that it becomes completely blood red, right? So they tell you about the water turning to blood and all that. It naturally happens in this water right here that they call Vermilion Sea. Folks that's actually living in California and living close to this region, they can tell you what it really is. Let's go. Now that you understand who Father Crespy is, the one that came to California and took out all them ancient California goddesses. Like I told you, California got its name from Queen Califia. And after they took out Califia and the ancient goddesses that used to live down there, they named the state California after the name Califia. You know what I'm saying? Now, Father Crespy, I told you, and a bunch of explorers went over there. He got some ancient artifacts from these ancient tribes that was actually living in California. You know what I mean? Then in Egypt in the 1900s, because all these structures I just showed you were designed in the 1900s. You know what I'm saying? They lied to you when they tried to tell you they were designed back in some BCs and no. All this was going on at the same time. Egypt was going right along, right next to the Haitian Revolution. The Haitian Revolution was going on at the same time with the Maroons in Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? This was all at the same time around the Gullah Geechee Wars, all around the same time as the Civil War. This was all wars on the planet between us and the colonizers. I always keep telling you, you never lost a war between us versus the colonizers. You always been at war with them because they trying to take over your land. You know what I'm saying? And because they realized they couldn't defeat you through physical combat, what they always used to do is come to you with paperwork, with pens, spells, treaties, signing peace treaties. And after you sign on these peace treaties, it would affect you. But how would these peace treaties affect you? See, they're not telling you you find Marie Laveau right quick. So you can know who she is. Marie image. Now look at this. All them Indian wars, Seminole wars, all that. Gullah Geechee wars, you know what I'm saying? All that. Goofiness. That's them. They're renaming the wars in their books and lying to you about history. Okay? They say this is Marie Laveau. Right? Right? See how they try to lighten her up? But she was dark. You know what I'm saying? A dark woman. Marie Laveau. But what they're not telling you, you're going to see later on as I break her down, you know what I'm saying? Her physical structures. See this? Notice who she looked like? She looked like Nanni. Don't she? Look at her. Same head wrap, same attire, same type of garment. She looked just like Queen Nanni of the Maroons. Okay? The reason for that is her and Nanni was actually sisters. Now, when I went in part 1 of the live, we were breaking down how in Jamaica we had one of these high priestess goddesses, you know what I'm saying, that were ruling in Jamaica and was taking on the colonizers, the British. And in Haiti, you had also one of these colonizers, but you had also had another goddess over there that was taking on them, and she burned down 18,000 plantations. And I talked to you about it early in the live. This is who we talk about, Marie Laveau. This is sister of Queen Nanni, right? But she was living down in Louisiana, right? Remember I told you before United States became the United States, right? They became the United States because before that it was only 13 colonies, right? But after blacks defeated colonizers, Caucasians, human beings, after the black gods defeated them in the Haitian Revolution, they were so broke that Napoleon and the French government had to sell the territory of Louisiana, right? Louisiana was anciently, once called, not anciently, but used to be called New France. Why? Because France used to be the colonizer of the territory called Louisiana, right? That's why till this day, you know what I'm saying, if you want to doubt my intellect, till this day, you still celebrate French customs in Louisiana. You still celebrate Mardi Gras till this day. All right? Till this day, you have Mardi Gras going on down there. That is not a black celebration. That is coming from France. Okay? French people. Now, when the Haitian people defeated the colonizers, they was broke. So they had to sell Louisiana. In American history, you'd read about it in the books and they'll call it the Louisiana Purchase. You see what I'm saying? So what the Louisiana Purchase did, what they don't tell you, is because they lost a war to the Haitians. And the Haitians, you know what I'm saying, caused them to sell Louisiana. And after they sell Louisiana, America herself doubled in size. And then she became called the United States. See what I'm saying? Named by a man called Thomas Paine, the human being. United States of America was named that by a human being called Thomas Paine. Remember, before that, it was just America. And they told you America comes from a man named Amerigo Vespucci. You know what I'm saying? More lies. You know what I'm saying? America, Amir in Hebrew is mother, and Ka is land. Okay? However, though, they call it United States of America because now it doubled in size and they have vast more territories. So now a human being united all these states, and his name was Thomas Paine. You know what I'm saying? A Caucasian. And he was the one that dubbed them and gave them that name after they doubled in size from the your Haitian brothers and sisters defeating them. Now, who was these Haitians? Who was this goddess that was doing all these powerful things in the Haitian Revolution? None other than Marie Laveau. Now, human beings always feared Marie Laveau. Why? Appreciate you, beloved. Why? Because she was a master magician. She was a scientist. You see? She understood science to the core, so she would use magic against the human beings, casting spells on them. And the human beings dubbed her the name Queen of Voodoo. See what I'm saying? They was the ones that called her Queen of Voodoo. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's see what Wikipedia says about Marie Laveau. We've been on here for a little while and I ain't trying to take too much time because I already did part 1. You know what I mean? So, let's break down Miss Marie Laveau. They gotta know the goddess is the GOAT. All right, Marie, if you have a laptop pulled up, a little computer next to you, a little side extra phone you can use, it's time. Type in Marie Laveau. L-E. Come on. L-A-V-E-A-U. Marie Laveau. You know what I'm saying? You know all of them gonna tell their lies. We don't trust none of them. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust no Google, no Wikipedia, no nothing, none of them. The difference is when you have insight and discernment, you're able to read through the lies. So the difference is when, for the ones that says Wikipedia equal that's my dog. You're right. Bunch of dumb shit they got on there. But we can use discernment. You know what I'm saying? Let's use it. I'm gonna show you what I mean. Let me teach you how to use discernment, beloved. When you already have insight from the cosmos and the astros, beloved, you can read their goofy stories. Now, Marie Catherine Laveau, born September 10, 1801, June 5th to 1881. Lies, right? They don't know that. Lies, okay? They don't know when she transcended, and they don't know when she was born. You'll see later on. Was a Louisiana Creole, you know what I'm saying, practitioner of voodoo, herbalist, and midwife who was renowned in New Orleans. Her daughter, Marie Laveau II, born 1827, 1860 to 1862, also practiced root work, right? Why they call it root work? Let's see. Because you know how you got to learn how to research. Let's get it. Let's see why they call it root work, y'all. Y'all got to learn. Root work, coming from hoodoo, or ancient voodoo, right, is a set of spiritual practices and traditions and beliefs that were created by enslaved Africans. Lies. These are coming from the Yorubas. We broke that down in part 1. In South United States from various traditional African spiritualities, right? Christianity and elements. So they were telling you Christianity and elements of indigenous botanical knowledge. Practitioners of hoodoo are called root workers. So if you know how to break this down, what it's saying here is it's called root work because what you're actually using, when you see the word botanical, know you're talking about flowers, plants, right? So when you see down here, when it says root work, that's because they're using planets, the knowledge of plants to use to cast spells in ancient magical rituals, right? And what they're telling you here about Christianity and elements, lies. She had nothing to do with no Christianity. You're going to see that later. And you're going to see why they try to mix her in with Christianity. You know what I'm saying? That's because the Yoruba was the ancient Africans that introduced the art of obia and the art of using voodoo. You know what I'm saying? But then they turned them same them same Yorubas, if you look at all the saints, all them saints are actually transitioned from the Yoruba people. Every single saint you can think of, when you trace them back, they go back to a black god. All his traits, all his characteristics, they just put a white face on it. But every face you can think of in the Roman Catholic Church gonna go right back to a Yoruba god. You know what I'm saying? What they call the Orishas. All right? So it's a reason why they mixing this Christianity stuff in there. That's because they want you to believe that we were always one and down with this Christianity belief. But no, they was practicing root work, meaning we was using spell work, using flowers to use to cause magic. Pay attention. Now, where we at with it? So, also practice root work to conjure. So now you see we conjuring up spirits, right? To conjure Native American and African spiritualism. You see? You see why you have to know how to use discernment. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? I say you got to use discernment, beloved. So when they tell you about root work and they talk about flowers and all that, so we was using all these to conjure Native American and African spiritualism as well, right? As well as Louisiana voodoo. Right? An alternate spelling of her name, Lavo, is considered by historians to be formed from the original French spelling. Now, let's see what they say about her early life. So historical records state that Marie Lavo was born a free woman. Yeah, she was never a slave. She was a royal, a high priestess, an Egyptian. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why she was so powerful in magic, because she was a high priestess, a pharaoh, right? Descendant of royal kings and queens, right? So she was never a slave. That's why I always keep trying to explain to you, on this continent, you were never slaves. You were rulers. You know what I'm saying? Right here on this continent right here, you were rulers. Then the colonizers came and then tried to conquer your planet, or conquer your realm, your continents. You know what I'm saying? So Catherine Lavo was born a free woman of color, right? I already told you she was dark. So they ain't revealing nothing. You know what I mean? In New Orleans. In the French Quarter. Like I told you, at that time, New Orleans down there in Louisiana was called New France. Now, and they said Thursday, September 10th, blah, blah, blah. At the time of her birth, Louisiana was still administered by the Spanish colonial officials. Her mother, Margarita D. R. Carntel, right? This was not her mother name. They're lying to you. This is not her mother. No, this is lies. You know what I'm saying? The Spanish name and all, lies. You know what I'm saying? They don't know none of this. So they got to make up her life stories. I'm going to show you how they go making up a life story. Watch. You're going to see how they jump over a bunch of details. So her mother, Marguerite D. Dar Cantel, was a free woman of color of African, European, look how they mixing in goofy shit, of African, European, and Native American ancestry. See how they mixing a bunch of lies. Now, let's keep moving. Because Lavo's mother was not married at the time of her birth, her father was not identified on her 1801 baptism record. A possible candidate is Charles Lavo. You're going to see they start guessing games. They'll know who her mother is, who her father is. Let's watch. Candidate is Charles Lavo, right? The son of Charles Lavo Trudeau and white Louisiana Creole. I want you to make sure y'all see that goofy shit that they saying. So a possible candidate, which means they don't know what they talk about. A possible candidate is Charles Lavo, the son of Charles Lavo Trudeau, a white Louisiana Creole. So now they saying her father's a white man, right? And a politician. Now, other historians claim that Lavo's father was a free man of color. Now they guessing. First it was a white man. Now another person said he was a free man of color. Now it's a black man named Charles Lavo. Much of the confusion is due to inconsistent spellings in surviving records. You see the goofy shit? That's why I'm saying to you, one must understand how to use discernment when reading the documents. You see what I'm saying? You must have insight when you read these documents that are thrown at you, because they'll dance around your brain. You know what I'm saying? They'll use simple words and dance around your brain on some like, yeah. They'll do circles around you and laugh at you because they know. They created this language. You know what I'm saying? They mastered it. They can dance around with you in all types of ways, casting spells on you in all types of ways, and you're going to read this whole document. You know what I'm saying? If there's not a being elite enough to break it down and explain to you. You read through this whole document, And you don't really see to the whole fact that, yo, they're confused. They don't know who her mother is. They're saying her mother is black, and then another one saying she's mixed with white. Then another one saying their father's name is Charles Laveau, and he was some type of white man, and he was a politician. Down another line down in another sentence, it says maybe he was a black Creole, and lies. They don't know who her parents is. So I'm telling you who her parents is. She was a pharaoh. She was the daughter of a pharaoh and the daughter of a high priestess. You see, this is the reason why Marie Laveau was so magical in the science, because she was raised up into this shit. She was the daughter of two powerful beings, a high priestess as a mother and the daughter of a pharaoh, a leader. Now, I'm going to show you how you use discernment. Again, go back to it. They're not telling you. They're not telling you. You know what I'm saying? So right here, when they tell you her father was maybe a white man and a politician, notice when they said anything else about anybody else, they don't put them in no high level ranking. But the one time they mention that a father may possibly be white, look, he's up there. He's a politician, right? That's them because they don't have no background history on her. What they're really trying to say is, in codes, her father was really a very powerful man. But they would put in politician in little codes for you and talk about he white. No, she was really the daughter of a powerful pharaoh. She was an Egyptian, a high priestess. Her mother was even more powerful than her father. You see? Why you think she became dubbed the queen of voodoo? Look what they call her over here. Marie Laveau, voodoo queen of New Orleans. See what I'm saying? She's called the queen of voodoo. Remember, a bunch of people is doing voodoo, but she's dubbed as the queen. Why is that? That means she was doing shit that they never seen before. That's why they call her the queen. Just like how you call somebody the best rapper because he's doing shit in a rap game that you never seen a person do before. You call a person the best basketball player because he's now doing shit in a basketball game that you've never seen before. Same way, Marie Laveau showed up in Louisiana and she started doing magical shit. She knew how to teleport. She knew how to mass produce herself down to the atomic level. She can separate her etheric bodies so she can create multiple versions and holographic effect of herself. So they would tell you there's many different Marie Laveaux, but they didn't know she was able to perform these scientific gifts. As they told you up here, she knew how to conjure spirits using spiritualism. So they're giving you all the little codes and pieces, but you got to know how to put it together. So she knew she was so powerful, she could use root work and spells to conjure up spirits. Now, let's keep going, because we're going to stop at the personal life, and that's it. So where we at right now? Goofy stories, they don't know her father is. All right. So on August 4th, she married Jacques Paris, known as Jacques Santiago, blah, blah, blah. Wow. Now, if you realize just now, when we read the sentence, they was giving you a whole life story, a little basic thing about arguing about who her father and mother is. Then all of a sudden, they give you nothing about her childhood. They just jump from her birth, trying to figure out who mom and daddy is. All of a sudden, she's getting married. Nothing about her childhood. You know what I'm saying? That's how they try to hide her from you. But I'm telling you how she was raised. She was raised and trained in the art of magic and science. You know what I'm saying? By the time she was a teenager, she was running shit. You know what I'm saying? When the Haitian Revolution was going on, Lavo was still basically a young woman. And she was so powerful that she was able to cause 18,000 plantations to catch on fire as a young teenager. They feared her. That's why she's called the queen of voodoo. Let's read. So she got married, right? A quadroon free to a quadroon, blah, blah, free man of color. Let's see what they call a quadroon. Because I want y'all to skip over nothing. You got to read everything, baby. In the colonial societies of the Americas and Australia, a quadroon or quaterron was a person with 1/4 African and Aboriginal and 3/4 European history. Come on with the goofy lies. Come on with the lies. He was no quadroon. Hey, all right. So this is her original husband, y'all. You know what I'm saying? This was Marie Laveau's husband. See what I'm saying? However, what you're going to realize is, let me keep going. You're going to see what's going on with the husband. So he was born a free man of color who had fled as a refugee from Haitian Revolution, right? Now, if he was some type of mixing with European and all that, and he white and all that, all right, he wouldn't be running from Haiti from the, you know what I'm saying? He wouldn't be in no Haitian Revolution in the first place. You know what I'm saying? In the former French colony, San Domingue, right? Their marriage certificate is preserved in St. Louis Cathedral in New Orleans. The wedding mass was performed by Father Antonio de Sedella, the Capuchin priest known as Pierre Antoine. Jacques was part of a large white and Creoles of color immigration of refugees to New Orleans in 1809. After the Haitian Revolution in 1791 to 1804, right? Remember, I'm telling you, all these are going on at the same time. With the Egyptians, the Haitian Revolution, you know what I'm saying? The Maroons fighting the Gullah Geechee War, all these wars where your native ancestors going to war with the colonizers all at the same time. Egypt was not no thousands of years ago. It was just couple, listen, man. They lied to you so much. None of this shit was going on no thousands of years ago. All this is recent. As they're telling you, Marie Laveau was going on in the Haitian Revolution. Now, if I'm telling you Marie Laveau has a sister called Queen Nanni, and I broke that down in part one of this video, and she was in Jamaica, that means Haiti and Jamaica is like neighboring islands. They were going on at war at the same time if they were sisters, okay? Now, these two goddesses were so powerful, they could interchange into each other. You know what I'm saying? They could phase into each other. Like she could become looking like her sister Queen Nanni, and Nanni would actually switch to start looking like Marie Laveau, right? But Marie Laveau is not her actual real name. Just the same way Queen Nanni is not Queen Nanni's real name. Nanni is a title. Nanni comes from the African word Nana and Ni. You know what I'm saying? Nana, which means queen, and Ni, which means mother. So the word Nanni means queen mother. So when they call her Queen Nanni, or Grandy Nanni, which is a wrong translation. Her name is really Grandy Nanni, not Grandy Nanni. They call her Grandy Nanni, like grand, the biggest nanny. You know what I'm saying? So what they're saying was she was the grandmother, the queen mother, or the queen of all the nannies. So there's a bunch of different nannies, but she was the best thing. You know what I'm saying? So now they was talking about the same thing with her sister. You know what I'm saying? They could phase into each other. They could teleport from one planet to other. I mean, from one continent to other ones. You will see if you read about Queen Nanni in part one. When you go back to watch part one, when I finally post that one, you'll see they will tell you how Queen Nanni was able to stay in Jamaica and communicate with people that was already in Africa. They're hiding a lot of this shit from you, beloved. You know what I'm saying? This is just a few, yes, beloved, this was only a few generations ago. The Egyptians and all of them, all that shit was going on all at the same time. Egypt ain't no long shit ago. They're lying. Okay? Now, let's get back to this marriage shit so you can see the goofy shit that they came with. Now, because they couldn't defeat Marie Laveau and she was so powerful, you're going to see how they set her up. So the wedding master was performed by blah, blah, blah. In 1809, we get to down there. Okay, so both disappear from records. Here they go again. So they tell you all about all these marriage records and all that, but all of a sudden, both disappear from records in the 1820s. Jacques Santiago Paris worked as a carpenter. The death of Jacques Paris was recorded in 1820, right? Now, watch this. Watch this. Watch how spooky they talk about her husband's death. He just randomly, all this shit going on, randomly records disappear, then, Jacques just randomly dies. Watch what happens after her husband dies. The following reported death of her husband Jacques, she entered a domestic partnership. Here we get into the juicy gems now. Now we get into the gems, Wikipedia. So, following the reported death of her husband Jacques Paris, this is her first husband that just died spookily now, she entered a domestic partnership with Christopher Dominic. Right? A nobleman of French descent. So now she joined leagues with a white person. Her husband just passed away. Now she linking up with a white man, right? She joined partnership with him. Now, why did she join partnership with this person? Now, the Dominic family, right? The Dominic family, at this time, they were running a chain of, they were beginning to run a chain of fruits, like a fruit business, plants, veggies, right? Now, after Marie Laveau passed away, right, she linked up to partnership because she was now by herself, but she was a powerful queen, right? She linked up with this human being called Christopher Dominic, and he was at the moment running a chain of food stores, selling groceries. Marie Laveau came into play because Marie Laveau was a scientist. Marie Laveau literally knew how to create fruits out of nothing. That's how magical she was. She was creating fruits, okay? Now the humans, Christopher Dominic, you're going to see that he was the one that actually set up her husband to transcend because he been trying to get at Marie Laveau. You know what I'm saying? So he set up the husband and the husband transcended. You know what I mean? And after the husband transcended, you know what I'm saying, she went in partnership with him, but this was all spells they working on her. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to see how when she finally caught on that his spells being worked on her, you're going to see what she did to Christopher Dominic. You know what I'm saying? Now, Christopher Dominic, the husband transcend, he finally got Marie Laveau in his corner. Now she's working with him. He making fruits. She designing the fruits. You know what I'm saying? If you study a lot of fruits, you see how fruits became man-made. You know what I'm saying? A lot of fruits is not anciently what it is today from what it was because they're splicing the fruits and they're changing the context of the fruits. A lot of fruits don't even have seeds no more. It wasn't always like this. This is done by human beings through eugenics, right? Now I'm giving you the sauce of what's going on. Now, Marie Laveau partnered up with this human being, right? And she started making fruits for him and designing new elements, new fruits for them, for the humans. And he was running a chain of fruit business. And he started putting this shit out. However, she realized that the human started splicing her fruit and started putting spells on her fruits. Now these fruits were losing the original context that it was supposed to be in. Now we start splicing them. You have a weaker version of the fruits that start coming with poison, right? Now, when Marie Laveau caught on to what he was doing, she got on his ass, took him out, had main man throwing up his intestines. They won't tell you about it. So I'm giving you the sauce. When they found him, and she realized, and she finally clicked in that, yo, I'm really making all these fruits for my people. You know what I'm saying? But you over there finessing me, let me think that you're actually helping my people, but really you're betraying me by splicing the same fruits that the goddess, the high priest, was literally creating fruits out of thin air, y'all. She was magical, a scientist. You know what I'm saying? That's why they tell you she was doing root work. Because she was very well in tune with nature. You know what I'm saying? She could tune in with nature down to the molecular level. You know what I'm saying? Remember I told you the 9 senses called psychometry. Having the ability to touch an object and tell the carbon makeup of the object. You don't have 5 senses as a carbonated being. You have 9. You see what I'm saying? You have 9. So as a result, she began to start helping the human beings. I told you you're going to get deeper and deeper as the life go. Because they told you have 5 senses. See what I'm saying? Seeing, smelling, hearing, tasting, feeling. Goofy shit. But then you go to telepathy, which is the ability to communicate via the mind without using the first initial basic 5 senses or using words, right? Because we initially spoke in telepathy, which are sounds and vibrations, not words, right? Then you go to the 7th sense, kinesis, the ability to maneuver objects without touching them or just tap into them. Because you have different types of kinesis. Telekinesis, hydrokinesis, pyrokinesis. So that's why I only gave you kinesis. Then you have the 8th sense, clairvoyance, right? The ability to see through different dimensions and time zones other than the one that you're currently in. Then you got your 9th sense. All things add up to 9 because 9 is the number of completion. So you go up to 9th sense, which is psychometry. The ability to touch a certain object, thing, or substance and tell the carbon makeup of the object. So you can tell how to recreate it, how to break it down, how to redesign it, how to make it better, whatever. So she was able to do this. So she was able to manifest fruits. You know what I'm saying? She was dope. You know what I'm saying? Dope goddess. Now, let's finish reading about Marie Laveau. So we can finish up this live because my son probably going to jump up soon anyway. Now, let's read. So after she joined a partnership with this French man called Christopher Dominic, right? They're going to tell you they reported to have 15 children. More lies. They had no children. That's them trying to make it seem like she and this white man had some type of relationship going on. Lies, because you're going to see how she wiped him out later. So they had 15 children. It's unclear if that includes children and grandchildren. See, they start coming with the lies. You don't know what they talk about already. They had 7 children according to birth and baptism records. See what I'm saying? The only 2 children that survived into childhood were their 2 daughters. So out of all these 15 children, the only 2 that survived, right, is her 2 daughters. Now they come up with the goofy shit. Remember I told you she was a royal, a high priestess, son of a pharaoh, daughter of a high priestess woman. Her children would not be going through problems. She was wealthy, y'all. And you're going to see that she was wealthy sooner or later because they're going to start telling you how she was giving back to the community. Watch. Watch. They only had 2 children that survived in their childhood, which was Philomena and Glapian, or whatever. So Marie Laveau is confirmed to have owned at least 7 slaves during her lifetime. Here they come with the goofy shit. During her lifetime, Marie Laveau was known to have attended to prisoners who were sentenced to death. Rumors circulated that some prisoners would receive poisons or other substances before going to the gallows, but this was never proven, right? So what they're telling you here, when you used to have prisoners and they used to have certain high-profile cases, some of them she was so up there and known, they would go to her for certain spells and enchantments, right? And what they would do is, what she would do is prescribe certain things for them, and but they were telling you right here, it's rumored to never be proven. So before they could go to the gallows, which is where you go to get hanged, you know what I'm saying? Prisoners who were sentenced to death, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they would link Marie Laveau. So, a reporter from the New Orleans Republican detailed one such visit in an article published on May 14th. I'm sorry, I don't know if y'all can see. My bad. During her life, Marie Laveau was no... Where we at? So, where we at? My bad, y'all. I didn't even realize y'all couldn't see. So, a reporter from the New Orleans Republic detailed one such visit. Right? In an article published on May 14, 1871, in which he described Marie Laveau as devout and acceptable member of the Catholic communion. Here they come in with the goofiness. She was not a Catholic. I keep showing you how they're trying to mix in Christianity and Catholicism with ancient spiritualism. You know what I'm saying? Now, following her death, her daughter Philomena confirmed during an interview with a reporter, right, that from Picayune, that only Catholic traditions would take place during these visits, and that her mother would also prepare the men's last meal and pray with them. Marie Laveau also sought pardons and commutations of sentences for those she favored, and was often successful in her efforts. Now, so what I was telling you earlier, as these prisoners would be going to the gallows, you see up here they told you they would be going to her for help. But they said it was never proven, right? They said it was never proven. But then down here, they start telling you, where we go with it? Why y'all be skipping for yourselves like that? Stop playing with me. Here. So the prisoners used to go to her, they would tell you for help, and they would get help. But here, they says it was never proven. But down here, it says, prisoners would go to Lavo, sought pardons for or commutations, you know what I'm saying, of the sentences. You know what I'm saying? For these, she favored and was often successful in her efforts. Know how to use discernment. She was known to care for the sick in her community, right? During the yellow fever epidemic, which was invented by the humans, by providing herbal remedies and prayers for those in need without charge, right? So she never needed money. She was doing this for free. She was already up there, and you're going to see right here when we get to career, right? Marie Laveau was a dedicated practitioner, right, of voodoo. Healer, herbalist, and an entrepreneur. She was a businesswoman, y'all. You see? So she was a healer, a herbalist. You know what I'm saying? That's why they talk about root work. She knew how to do voodoo, spiritualism, and entrepreneur. She was a businesswoman. Now, Lavo was also known as a prominent female religious leader and community activist. Everybody knew Lavo, okay? Everybody. Even the big rich ones was going to her for help, okay? Watch what she did to get in their head. Lavo, no pun intended, you're going to see that later. Lavo started a beauty parlor. See that? And this how she got into their head, y'all. So now the most wealthiest of people, because Marie Laveau was a spiritual practitioner, as they told you right here. You know what I'm saying? A voodoo spiritual practitioner. She cast spells. Notice, they tell you, Marie Laveau started a beauty parlor where she was a hairdresser for the wealthier families of New Orleans. Now, if she was so much of a regular dirty black woman, why is the wealthiest people coming to her parlor to visit her? Right? The wealthiest of the white families was coming to her. You know why? Because she knew how to do magic. So she cast spells and she was having them come into her like water. Why was she doing that? Because she needed to get into their head. How you do that? To cast her magic with her root work. You know what I'm saying? How you think she would get them judges to make their decisions? She would get them same judges would be coming to her parlor. And while she would be doing their hair, she would be listening to them gossiping and talk about, all their little business, right? But Marie Laveau just needed a strand of hair. So all she would do, as she started working on them in their hairdresser business, she started plucking their hair out, cutting off a piece of it. And she started using their hair because remember, your hair carries all your genetics, y'all. Even the scientists will tell you that. They just need a strand of hair, y'all, and they can crack the code on you. So Marie Laveau was a brilliant scientist. See what I'm saying? So Marie Laveau basically started a beauty parlor, but this was a disguise because she never needed money. She could have manifested anything she wanted. I already told you she knew how to manifest fruits out of thin air. And that's why Christopher Dominic was setting her up. But then she took his ass out. You know what I'm saying? So you got to know how to read between the lines. Don't forget what you read up there just because you're all the way down here. You got to put it all together. You feel me? So now she's working as a hairdresser. She just did that as a disguise so she can start getting into the heads and getting strands of genetics from each of these high-profile human beings. Then she started casting spells on them by using their genetics to help them to make decisions. So when her people started coming to her for pardons and all that, she already had genetics of all the top mayors and the judges and all that. She got that shit right in her back pocket. So she just cook up her little spells using root work, voodoo. Now let's read. She excelled at obtaining inside information, y'all. Listen, she excelled at obtaining Let me start back from right here. Lavo started a beauty parlor, as I told you, it's a disguise, where she was a hairdresser for the wealthier families of New Orleans. She excelled at obtaining inside information on her wealthier patrons at the beauty parlor by listening to ladies gossiping, or from their servants whom she either paid or cured of mysterious ailments. You see what I'm saying? She be curing people, and they knew that. Of mysterious, she doing shit that they couldn't understand. That's why they got the word mysterious right here, right? Then it says here, she uses information during her voodoo consultations with wealthy Orleanian women to enhance her image as a clairvoyant, and use this intel to give them practical advice. She also made money by selling her clients gris as charms to help their wishes come true. Now, let's see what gris is. You know I told y'all you do research, baby. Gris is a voodoo amulet originating in Africa, which is believed to protect the wearer from evil or bring luck. And in some West African countries, is used as a supposed method of birth control. Okay. It consists of a small cloth bag, usually inscribed with verses from an ancestor or a ritual number of. They're not going down there because this sounds juicy a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Come on, Gris, stop playing with me. I didn't say take me off the whole page now and then. Shit. Hold up, y'all. You're tripping. Don't be trying to stop the juice, man. Where was we at? Gris, right? Where was we at, y'all? Because Gris think it's stopping the move. Let me go back to Gris for a second. Where was he at? Oh, where is that? Hold up, y'all, because this moving like Gris. All right. I didn't even see where that whole word gris go. Damn. Anyway, so we got the point where we see now she broke down and started. All right, there we go. Right, gris. My bad, y'all. You know what I'm saying, but yeah. So we're at the point where it started telling you, how she started making a beauty parlor to set up her whole scheme so she can start getting into these rich politicians' head and all that. You know what I'm saying? She started curing people of all these mysterious ailments, as they're telling you right here. You know what I'm saying? People would go to her. They would be putting on death sentences, but she helped them get off of those, and she was usually successful. So we're going to get down to all that, right? So now to here, now we're going to tell you, in her role right here, can y'all see? In her role as a voodoo practitioner, customers often appealed to Lavo to help for family disputes, health, finances. Look what they going to her for help for. Family disputes, help, finances, and more. She was not broke, y'all. Did not tell you that. She was a community activist, so she was known, right? She owned her own business. They told her she was an entrepreneur. People coming to her for help for curing mysterious diseases. You know what I'm saying? And they also coming to her for family, for finances. See, nothing broke about her. She was a high priestess, daughter of royalty. Nothing to do with slaves. And they hated her because she was so magical. She could do things that they have never seen before. Now, Lavo performed her services in 3 main places. In her hometown in St. Anne, Ghost Square, you know what I'm saying? She was a 3rd female leader of voodoo, because at this time, what they're telling you right here, there was other voodoo women as well. But they weren't as powerful as Queen Marie Laveau. That's why they dubbed her as Queen of Voodoo. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's go down to the where they talk about this death. So they're going to tell you right here, we're going to finish up on Marie Laveau. Marie Catherine Laveau, Paris, you know what I'm saying, died on June 15th. Lies. She never transitioned. She never died on here. They don't know when she passed away. They're lying. They don't even know where the burial site is. They're lying to you. The different spellings of her name or surname result from many different women with the name in New Orleans at the time. And her age of death from conflicting accounts of her birth date. See, they don't know when she's born. They don't know when she died. Okay? Let me read that again for you. The different spellings of her surname result from many different women with the same name in New Orleans at the time. Her age at death from conflicting accounts of her birth date. So they don't know the age of death, and they still having conflicting accounts, because they still can't figure out the birth date. You know what I'm saying? On June 17th, right, in 1881, it was announced that Marie Laveau had died peacefully in her home, right? Now, listen what they say. According to the Louisiana Writers Project, her funeral was lavish and attended by a diverse audience, right? Including members of the white elite. Why was the white elite going? Because she already had tapped into their psyche by having them come into her so-called beauty parlor. She was already cool with them. You know what I'm saying? She finessed their ass. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is called infiltration at its finest, beloved. Oral tradition states that she was seen by some people in town after she supposed demise. So, key. Oral tradition states that she was seen by some people in town after her supposed demise. So, what I'm telling you, I'm going to keep going for a second. News of her death was featured, right? News of her death was featured in a number of newspapers, including the Sun Spectator, right, in Virginia, the Omaha Daily Bee in Nebraska, as well as several newspapers published in Minnesota. At least 2 of her daughters were named Marie, following the French Catholic tradition to have the first names of daughters be Marie and boys Joseph. You see where all these Catholic names comes from? What their rules is. Then each use middle names as a common name. One of the daughters in the Queen soon, in the Queen soon before and or after the first Marie's death, right? Marie Latour has also been reported as also being Laveau's successor. That was their daughter they talk about. Now, all this goofy shit down here don't matter. Let me get to it. Down there at the bottom, they just gonna tell you the rest of it, who made, a bunch of legends, telling you people's making songs about her. All right. Cool. I got you, Papa. It's time to go up. I'm about to finish this live.
Oh, man.
All right, so all that she just was doing, right? All that whole creating a hairdresser parlor and all that. You see, she had money. You see, families was coming to her for financial advice. You know what I'm saying? She had the wealthiest people of the city coming to her, right? Marie Laveau was a powerful high priestess, what they would call a witch, but she was a high priestess. They called her a witch because they couldn't understand the magical things that she was doing, right? She could levitate, yeah? She could create different ethereal bodies of herself. So she would appear to be in different places at the same time. Her sister, Queen Nanni, could do the same thing going on over there in the Maroons with Jamaica. Same thing Marie Laveau was doing in Louisiana. Also had to do the same thing with the Haitian Revolution. All these wars that I'm presenting to you have always been occurring all at the same time. The humans have just lied to you throughout the history books and renamed the wars and renamed the time frames of the wars so you don't get to realize what you're actually reading. See what I'm saying? So all that story about her creating her whole beauty parlor, that's all spell work for her. You know what I'm saying? She know how to do spells. Okay? That's clearly being said right here in this entire whole lecture. Right? In this whole Wikipedia shit too that they describing, she's a spell master. She's a magician. A scientist. Right? So when they tell you Marie Laveau, birth date and death date, they don't know when she was born. They lied about her mom. They lied about her dad. They don't know who her parents is. They're lying about it. She was a high priestess, and that's the reason why she was so advanced. You know what I'm saying? Because as a pharaoh, you have to go through certain practices, certain training to be raised up with that Kundalini energy. You know what I'm saying? To activate those 7 chakras and that God frequency, that God mind. So she was trained into it. You know what I'm saying? Trained. She was the daughter of a very powerful woman, a high priestess. As I told you earlier, her mother was even more powerful than her father. See? And she became just like the mother. Yeah? So when you see them lying to you about who Marie Laveau is, it's about them hiding the story so you're going to read the majestic beings that you actually are so you can wake up your God frequency. Because if you knew about a woman that could manifest fruits out of thin air, so much so human beings wanted to partner up with her, you know what I'm saying, to help him run his grocery business. Then all of a sudden he started casting spells. And when she figured out what he was doing, she did the same thing to him. She went right back to her little root work. Right back to the root work. And yeah. He had him throwing up his guts in the middle of the squish. He knows that's when they found him. Right? They told you, now let's talk about the death. When they said they found her and she died peacefully at the house, they're lying. The stories will tell you when you go research Marie Laveau on your own time. I'm just giving you a basic introduction to Marie Laveau. So now that you have these insights on Marie Laveau, when you're actually reading the stories, you can use the proper frequency and the proper context of Marie Laveau and see the lies that they're telling you. See what I'm saying? So when you actually research how she died, they're going to tell you when they finally went to her house, they couldn't find the body for Marie Laveau. She was not there. Okay? So when they tell you, yo, she died of some type of peaceful death in her house, when they went to the house, Marie Laveau was not there. Marie Laveau did the same thing that Queen Nanni did. Okay? The same thing. She simply increased the vibration, increased her frequency, and she transitioned the realm. Never died. Just simply transitioned. Who else they told you about? I keep using them. In their book of the Bible, they told you Enoch was so perfect, he walked with God, and he didn't even die. You see what I'm saying? They say Enoch walked with God and he didn't even die. He just got taken up in the clouds and some shit. You believed that, didn't you? You also believe when they told you, what's his name? Elijah, taken up on the chariots, going up in the clouds, the same way. Why is it so far-fetched when I'm trying to explain to you a supreme black goddess did the same? Because they're more powerful than any of these men that you can mention. She's more powerful than any Elisha. Huh? She's more powerful than these little Enoch beings. She's making shit out of thin air. Teleporting. Creating multiple versions of self. I tell you, it was Nanni of the Maroon, her sister, that taught the human beings guerrilla warfare. Taught them the art of ambush. You see military equipments today all wearing camouflage. Who taught them that? That was from a woman. Queen Nanni, her sister. See, I'm tying both of them in. Her sister did that. You know what I'm saying? Her sister taught human beings that they need to wear camouflage shit to blend in with nature when y'all go on the wall. How they learned that? By the Maroons when we defeated them in the Caribbean. And they called it ambush. Because we was bush for real. We got right into the bushes on their ass and jumped out on them. Peace, love, and high vibrations. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everyone for joining in live. Thank you for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? And everybody that, you know what I'm saying? I hope you're receiving this vibrational frequency. To all my elders and all my gods, goddesses of the realm. You know what I'm saying? Elemental spirits. The 4 realms. North, south, east, and west. You know what I'm saying? Water, fire, earth, wind, and plasma energy. All my ancestral spirits. All the gods that came before me. That try to wake up the realm. Doing the same thing I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Peace to all of them. Known and unknown. Feel me? Known and unknown. So, I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have questions about anything we talked about? Now's the time. I'm going to use like 5 minutes and break down some questions. Now you understand who Marie Laveau is. You understand who Nanni is. In part 1, I told you when they talk about the Africans that came to the Caribbean on slave ships, they was never slaves. They were descendants of the Zulu people. Zulus mean children of the sun, right? And the Zulus was already in Africa going to war with the colonizers, a.k.a. Shaka Zulu. That's why they made a movie about them. You know what I'm saying? So Zulu, Shaka Zulu, was already in Africa fighting the colonizers, right? These so-called Yoruba people, right? When the colonizers came, I told you in part 1, they migrated and went up towards where the Arab territory was. And these Yoruba Africans, these were the ones that was doing spiritual worship, beating the drums and, you know what I'm saying, tapping into the Orisha energy. You know what I'm saying? So when the Christians came and started introducing the one God technology, you know what I'm saying, and God spells on them, aka the Gospels, you know what I'm saying, the Yoruba people from Africa wasn't with that because they knew they was connected to multiple different energy being sources. So they started moving to the north and they end up linking up with the Arabs, the Muslims. The Muslims studied them, the Yoruba people, and they copied them. You know what I'm saying? And then the same Muslims and Arabs anciently betrayed them, right? And after they betrayed them, right, what they did was they sold them into slavery. So what I'm saying to you was all them ancient wars was basically 90 to 95% of us was always free. It was only about 5% of us that ever went into slavery. And who they took to slavery was simply just prisoners of war. You were always at war with the colonizers for your realm. You know what I'm saying? This is the basic information I'm simply presenting to you. You know what I'm saying? All the wars that you have been reading about are all lies. Everything they tell you is lies in their stupid books. They're lying to you about who they went to war with, how they lost the war. They never won any war. There was a Seminole War I. Then there's a Seminole War II. They went to war with the Maroons for 85 years, and for 50 years they lost every time. Defeat after defeat after defeat after defeat. I broke that down in part 1. They lost every time. And Queen Nanni, which was a military general, a goddess, she was the one that was commanding this army. Now, who were these Yoruba people I'm talking about? These Yoruba people were the same people that came from what them Arab Muslims betrayed, and they started selling the Africans into slavery. You know what I'm saying? After they studied the Africans, the Africans showed them their ways. The Arabs, because you know the human beings are the Caucasians, Asians, Arabs, Mexicans, Dravidians. These are human being species, the pale versions. All human beings, all 6 ether beings. You see what I'm saying? So these human beings were the ones that sold them out to the Spanish conquistadors. Now the Spanish conquistadors, which was the one that brought them to the Caribbean, these little small amount of people from Sierra Leone and regions around there, they brought them from Africa. Now, Nanni was the one that cast spells on them, and those Yoruba people was doing the same spell root work. And the ship had a shipwreck as soon as when it got closer to the Jamaican shore. When it got to Jamaica, them same Africans from the Yoruba tribe jumped off them ships and got to the Jamaican shore. When they got to the Jamaican shore, Nanni was already there. Listen to me closely. Listen to me closely. So, Nanni is a sister of Marie Laveau. So, remember, if Marie Laveau is down in Louisiana, and I'm saying, and they telling you, Queen Nanni, Papa, turn that down for a little bit for me, please. Papa, turn your phone down for me, please. A little bit. Turn it down. Turn it down, please. I'm doing something. I'm almost done. Right. So if Marie Laveau was over here in America, down in Louisiana, and I'm telling you, in Jamaica, we have our national hero or heroine called Queen Nanni, and they're sisters. See what I'm saying? So when they came to the island, Nanni was already there. Why was Nanni already there? Because Jamaica already was being occupied by native Indians called Taínos, Arawaks, and Caribs. The word Caribbean comes from, thank you, Papa, love you. The word Caribs or Caribbean come from the ancient Indian tribes that was actually living in the Caribbean called the Caribs. So from the word Carib, you get the word Caribbean. Carib, Caribbean. See what I'm saying? But these were Native Americans that were already coming from the large American continent and then marooned themselves in the Caribbean. They would have you believe, as I told you part one, the word maroon is only native to Jamaica, but it's not. They call them Jamaican maroons for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Because they were just trying to make you think that this is only in Jamaica, but no. The Native American gods, right? When the colonizers start coming on the American continent, we marooned ourselves not only in Jamaica, but in Haiti, Barbados, Peru, Suriname. You know what I'm saying? We were in, bro, it is not only in Jamaica. We were everywhere, okay? And what we simply did was marooned ourselves. Like what they say, yo, you're marooned on an island. You know, the word maroon comes from the word cimarron, which means wild, run away. You know what I'm saying? They would tell you come from the word pig, but it's goofy. The word pig in Spanish is cedro. It's a C word. They don't even make no sense. Cimarron is maroon. You know what I'm saying? So they tell you the reason why they was called wild or run away is because we naturally wasn't running from nothing. We simply marooned ourselves on these islands to separate ourselves from these colonizers now. Now, when these colonizers came in the year 1655, after the shipwreck happened on the island of Jamaica with these Yoruba Africans, the Yoruba Africans naturally went up into the hills. And where did they go when they came to Jamaica? They went into the Blue Mountain Hills. Now, how would some Africans, think about it, how would some Africans that came off ships know where to go to in the mountains? See what I'm saying? That's because there was a group of people. That's because there's a group of people that was already living there. And these was Queen Nanni and her descendants, right? They was already there. That's why when them Africans came on the land, they separated in two. Nanni took the east side and she became queen of the east. And the Africans who was Kojo, Kwame, Kwa, and all of them that came off them ships, she sent them on the west side of the island. He became king of the westward Maroons. You know what I'm saying? So those Yoruba Africans were beings that were sold out by Arabs, ancient Muslims, and sent into the Caribbean brought there by the Spaniards. Only a small few. They're lying to you about all of us being slaves and all that. No, we didn't come here on no ships. They came there, we was already black beings. Now, when the gods was already in the mountains, that's how the Africans that just came off the shipwreck knew where to go, because they went up into the mountains and met up with Queen Nanni and her ancient beings that was already living there. We got to put the clues together. So Nanni was no slave either, just like her sister Marie Laveau was no slave. Nanni was a high priestess, the daughter of a pharaoh and a high priestess woman. Same way her sister is the same thing. They're just lying to you about her parents. So you would think Nanni is coming from Africa. Look, in America, they highlight Marie Laveau as Queen of Voodoo. Now when you go over in Jamaica, they're calling her Queen Nanni. You know what I'm saying?
both of these females seem to be having higher knowledge than all the other beings around them. Why is that? Because they were different from the rest of them. See what I'm saying? Different. One was mastered in the art of science, and another was mastered in spirituality, which was Africans. So the Africans brought us, or African ancestors brought us certain things like the playing of the drums and connecting to the ancestral spirits. They brought that to the Caribbean. They brought Obia to the Caribbean, aka voodoo to the Caribbean. These are coming from these Yorubas. Nanni was doing something else. Nanni could communicate with animals. Nanni could make fire or cook on pots without using fire. You know what I'm saying? Bro, peace and love and high vibrations. I appreciate everyone for joining me. See part 1. There's so much gems packed into both these lives that, like, when you actually sit down with self, by yourself later on, and you actually put all these things together, you begin to realize that all these lies don't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? Nothing that they tell you makes sense. Let's look at Queen Nanni's name. They say her name was Sarah Matilda Rowe. Now listen to her brother's name. Kojo, Kwame, Kwa, Akompong. Do these sound anything similar to you? Come on, man. One was already there on the island. Few Lu Africans came there on Lu slave ships and freed themselves right there because they were never slaves. They were descendants of the Zulus that were already fighting colonized, so they knew what to do. So they got to the land and the shipwreck, they off that shit, they took all the guns that came with them human beings. So now they was on the island, marooned, and now they have linked up with the Queen Nanni, a high priestess, that gave them territory, like, yo, y'all stay on the west side, we cooling over here. Defeating all them colonizers for 50 years, so much so they had to sign a peace treaty. You know what I'm saying? A peace treaty. So I brought to you Queen Nanni, and I brought to you Marie Lavo. All in the same day. We've been live since maybe about 12 today. You know what I'm saying? We've been live for hours, since like 12 today, part 1 and 2. So I got through to it. I appreciate you. I needed to do this. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't been live with y'all in a long time. So, yeah. Peace and love and high vibrations. Thank you for joining. And I will see y'all on Saturday. All right? Not missing, I'm going to show some love to y'all. Who's that? Money Monroe. Much love, beloved. You know what I'm saying? Raquel, I see you in the live as well. So yeah, all the names that you see them giving, Sarah, Matilda Rowe and all that, that's not her name. That's not the name of Queen Nanni. When they tell you Marie Laveau, that's not her name neither. The reason why they have to come up with these names, because see how they tell you, the reason why they call them Marie is because at the time, all the Catholics, their rules was all the females must be given the first name as Marie, and all the males was given the name Joseph. You see what I'm saying? So that's not really her name. They couldn't pronounce her name, so they gave her a name because she was a high priestess woman. So her name was not words, her name was formed in the form of a vibration. So they couldn't pronounce her name. It's the same way they couldn't pronounce Queen Nanni's name either. So they had to come up with names for her. Her name was a vibration. And I already told you, when you go into the throat chakra, right? When you talk about the throat chakra, you're speaking on the esophagus, the muscle right here. So it's the muscle, right? The esophagus. But inside your vessel, they tell you that you have organs, right? We broke this down many times. They tell you that you have organs inside your vessel, musical organs. You know what I'm saying? That play tones and vibrations and frequency, right? What does your esophagus control? It is a muscle or the instrument that you use to play the different organs within the vessel. So as you begin to use the throat chakra, whether you want to go up in octaves or lower in octaves, you're using the same esophagus instrument and you're pulling on different organs within the vessel at different times to create different sounds, different vibrations. So what I'm saying is, anciently, like I broke down when you have 9 senses, you didn't always vibrate only physically. Once before they start telling you about your 5 senses, you always knew you had 9. I'm reminding you of self. That's all I'm doing. I'm just reminding you of self. You always remember that you had 9 senses. Always. You know what I'm saying? Until the human beings hijacked your realm and start teaching you about physicality only and taught you how to forget spirituality. But you're a spiritual being having a physical experience on a planet called Earth. Right? I told you descended from higher realms, from the 19th galaxy down to the 18th galaxy. Came through a portal through the process you call birth. Right? I told you got a baby inside the womb, but that don't mean the baby's fully alive and waking. There's no soul and spirit inside of it yet. It's just a vessel. The umbilical cord that's connected to mother to the baby is what's providing that electricity. The raw electricity is actually coming from the mother, and it's connected to the baby like a plug into a socket. You know what I'm saying? So the mother is actually who has that raw electricity, and by plugging the umbilical cord to your navel now, which is your soul or your solar plexus, your baby vessel that's inside of you begins to get charged up. We talk about this. It's just birth, the process of birth I'm breaking down to you. You know what I'm saying? Birth. Birth is just what the humans gave you as some dumb shit that let you thought you was never in existence, and then all of a sudden you popped up because you and your mama and your papa seem to have some type of sex and all that. And all of a sudden, here comes a magical God 9 months later. Right? But these are lies. They're just hiding the fact to tell you how to break down these things scientifically with birth. So you're descending from the 19th galaxy, in the Sirius galaxy, where we came from. 19th galaxy, right? You now came down to the 18th galaxy, where they call the Milky Way, right? I know they told you that it was called the Milky Way, but they never told you what number galaxy it is. It is the 18th galaxy. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? So you came from the 19th galaxy to the 18th galaxy, you see? Now, when you descended down here from higher realms, when you were vibrating in etherical form, violet, blue, green, and all that, before you descended on the planet Earth, you know what I mean? In a second.
I'm okay. Judy, sorry. Alan, Aunt Judy is here. Teacher! What's wrong? I think the world is ending. Is this one of your silly pranks? No, I'm being for real. The zombies are already here. Let them come. You're not scared? No, because we have them. Let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I've been on live for hours. Y'all got to give me a time, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, don't be trying to burn my brain out. Don't let me reduce myself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right. So, we came from the 19th galaxy. You know what I'm saying? Don't be making no joke because I'm eating. You know what I'm saying? Chill. Man, just chill. Let me get my life together. All right. Don't be doing it. You know what I'm saying? Just chill. All right. You have a hole? All right, I'll fix it. All right, no. So listen. You descended from the 19th galaxy. I see. Was that a little question? Let me see what that question said.
She needs to start losing some weight. And then I found this lollipop stuck to my cat's tail.
Oh my God, I want to take him home. We can put him in the truck. Oh my God.
All right, Talia. Talia, if you're just joining, beloved, you know what I'm saying? You missed a lot of gems, baby. You missed a lot of gems. Beloved. I've been on live since 12 o'clock today. I'm just wrapping up right now with a little banana. You know what I'm saying? I gotta, you know what I'm saying, rejuvenate myself. Alright. I love fruits, y'all. Y'all gonna see me eating fruits all the time. You know what I'm saying? That's my shit. I love fruits. I told you, as an electrical being, you gotta eat electrical foods. You know what I'm saying? Not dead carcasses. You're vibrating on only 10% of brain. And they tell you the rest is junk matter, 90%. All they're saying is you're only using 10% of your electricity that you're supposed to be using to activate your God mind. The voltage of electricity that you're vibrating on is not enough to activate the avatar that you're in. You vibrate on megawatts of electricity. Okay? You're naturally of electricity. Like I was explaining to you earlier, the baby inside the vessel, when you descended from the 19th galaxy, just to explain the process of birth again, when you descend from the 19th galaxy down to the 18th galaxy through your mother's womb or a portal, because a portal is something that you go through from one side and you exit to a whole other world on the other side. Simple portal, right? So when you enter into the mother's womb, the vessel is formed. The avatar is being formed, right? She is directly connected through the navel of the mother, right? By the process of the umbilical cord. Your umbilical cord is what connects the electricity from the mom to the child. The child does not have its own electricity just yet. There's nothing inside of it. The vet is just a vessel. But it's an alive vessel. It's living. But it doesn't have a soul or a spirit of its own just yet. But the vessel is alive. Now, you might feel the baby in the womb moving, then bouncing around, maybe bumping up on your stomach a couple of times. And to you, you say, oh my God, I feel the baby kicking. Then, but that's just the weight of the baby, the mass, the density of this baby while it's floating around in triple darkness in water. Because inside of you is water. And it's floating around in this sack of water. And you are feeling the weight. As if you had a bottle with ice in it. And the ice is bumping on the sides of the bottle as you move it around. Right? Now, for the whole 9 months, the baby's in there and it's growing. The avatar, should I say, is growing. Right? Now, only when the avatar actually receives a soul and a spirit, the water breaks. Women, I'm talking to you. When you say your water break, peace, beloved, I appreciate you. When you say the water break, what you're actually saying to yourself is, my vessel, or the avatar that's living inside of me, finally just became a living entity. This is what is really happening, right? So at this time, it finally gains a spirit and a soul. What is a spirit and soul does, right? Electricity and magnetism creates an aura effect. Remember now, what is the spirit? The spirit is the electricity, the life force, the plasma, lightning. You know what I'm saying? Another name for lightning is plasma energy, right? What's your blood made of? Your blood is made of plasma. See what I'm saying? So you literally have electricity or lightning coursing through your veins. You know what I'm saying? So the process of having spirit or electricity combining with the magnet or the soul, which is located in the solar plexus, because soul is a shortened for solar plexus. The navel, right behind the navel, is where the solar plexus is, or your solar chakra. From here is magnetism. So your soul, like I already explained to you, is located in your gut, right? The spirit, or the electricity, is coursing through your veins, aka lightning. When electricity, in science that is, in science world, when electricity combines with magnets, it creates a relationship called electromagnetism. I'm still explaining birth to you. Listen closely and you shall receive. When spirit, which is electricity, combines with your soul, which is magnetism, right? It creates a process called electromagnetism, which is really a force field. Now, when this vessel in the 9th month finally receives a spirit and a soul to create the force field around the baby, that force field or the energy barrier is what forces the water out of the woman. You understand? This is now what forces, because it finally creates that aura. All beings possess an aura once it becomes a alive God being. Okay? What is the aura? I explained to you earlier, that's like when a person walks into a room, you never seen them, you didn't even hear when they walked in, but you feel them. That's because they're naturally creating a magnetic aura field around them. Peace and love, beloved. All around all beings is a magnetic aura field. You can feel it, your soul, your vessels can sense these things, but because you've been tuned to only physicality and not spirituality, you've been unlearned and not taught how to actually see auras of beings. You know what I'm saying? So the aura only forms after the baby receives a spirit and a soul. This only happens in the 9th month, y'all. Okay? This is the reason why the number 9 is the number of completion. That's why it takes 9 months for you to reproduce. See what I'm saying? I told you many times the number 9 is the highest numbers in the cosmos. Right now, I just been repeating a lot of stuff because I know folks gotta, you know what I'm saying, when I drop certain type of information, I gotta dig deep into some other stuff and connect a certain dots for y'all to really connect and receive what I'm really dropping on you. See what I'm saying? And you gotta also remember, I appreciate you, beloved. Thank you so much. Also, you must remember that you have been indoctrinated for hundreds upon hundreds of years. So it takes a lot of reprogramming for you to actually get back on the right frequency. See what I'm saying? I can't just drop 1 and 2 lines for you to actually understand everything I'm saying, because a lot of things I'm saying to you is directly going against everything that you have been taught your whole life. You know what I'm saying? And I know it might be crazy for it just be this little random new person, you know what I'm saying, that you see on TikTok, and he's from a whole nother country called Jamaica, and here he is breaking down American history. And I also seen him break down Haitian history. I seen him break down the Africans. I seen him break down the Asians. I seen him break down Jamaica also. So that means he has no favoritism going on. How am I able to break down all these different territories? Because see, I'm doing exactly what I've been telling you and trying to teach you from the get-go. Get up out of one-made religion. You must get up off the one-mindedness. See all of them as knowledge. So don't see yourself because your mama and your papa and your grandmama taught you to be Christian and Protestants and Baptists and all that. Never forget that the Muslim brother and sister also have certain knowledge in their book that completes what you're missing as a Christian. Vice versa, Mr. Muslim brother and sister, never forget that over here in their book they have something that you're missing from your book. But only when you begin to study everything as in general, as your wide diaspora, you begin to see things for what they are. You can't just study one-sided. As I showed you earlier in a scenario, if you have 10 people in a room and they all begin to argue, if you pull out one person and ask them what happened, you will never get the story or the truth story. That's one-sided. No pun intended. Yeah? You got to choose all parties that was a part of the whole situation and have them break it down. And then you use discernment to see who's lying and who's telling the truth. You see what I'm saying? That's how you break them down. Alright? Extra gem and I'm out. One last gem and I'm out. Has nothing to do with today's knowledge. There's a natural plant on the planet called the black cohosh root. Women, goddesses, this for you. The black cohosh root helps you to increase your feminine aspects of the vessel. So it produces estrogen. Bigger booty, bigger breasts, all that. Everything that makes you a woman, you know what I'm saying? This plant is capable of doing. Called the black cohosh plant. You want to put on weight in the right place? Black cohosh plant. Gang in them. The gods. Your turn. The Damiana plant.
Do you not like this video? I'll be right back. Did you just like it? Well,
You know what I'm saying? Damiana and black cohosh. Males, females. Divine feminine. I broke them down both. Both has to do with both sexual reproductions and all that. Both have to do with enhancement and all that of the feminine and the masculine attributes that makes you masculine and what makes you feminine. Lock that in. You are not a human. You're a god. You're an Anunnaki being. Not black. Not American. Not Jamaican. Not African. Yes, you can. You can.
and a motorbike.
You know what I'm saying? And Anunnaki beings that became Lemurians, then lowered in vibration and became Atlanteans, then lowered again in vibration and they called you Egyptians. Then after that you got lowered in vibration. The first tribe of all tribes was the Mississippi tribe. And then from the Mississippi tribe, y'all start breaking down into all these different native tribes. Cherokees, Ashanti, and all these different tribes that y'all became. Even 12 tribes of Israel and all that. But long before all that, you were gods, Anunnaki beings. Once you start lowering vibration and they start changing your realms on you, you start becoming smaller and smaller. You started at the 33rd dimension. You're now vibrating on only 3 dimensions of knowledge. You see what I'm saying? You're not only down to 3D.
but you started off at 33. So now your frequency has been so low, you've become smaller in size, smaller in knowledge. Everything has been lowered. You know what I'm saying? But you started off as Anunnaki gods that descended here from the 19th galaxy, came to the Milky Way in the 18th galaxy, in a planet called Earth, from the Sumerian word Eridu. That's where they got the word Earth from, Eridu. But long before we called it Earth, or the humans called it Earth, this was our planet anciently. We've been here long before Adam and Eve. That's goofy. We were pre-Adamites. Long before Adam and Eve in their stories, we were here. We built the pyramids. See what I'm saying? We built them, John. Remember self. You built the sun. Remember self. Long before they ushered the moon on your planet, to usher all their sub-zero technology, you had 2 suns. Now you only have 1 sun. Now you have a nighttime, and you think night is natural. But if you truly know the history of your planet, you would know we never had seasons. There was no snow. Long before the humans came to your planet, we didn't have to put on no winter coats and all that. These was not thousands and millions of years ago. Lies. These is a recent colonization from the last great reset that was sent on your planet. They reset your planet every time we start cracking the codes. Once the civilization gets to a certain point where we start all waking up, they're reset. Then they hide the books, burn all the ancient books. You know what I mean? Start rewriting new books with new knowledge, new history. And then they feed it to you through the indoctrination camps that you call schools. And the process starts over again. The earth is run on certain energy cycles. Long before we talk about time, we had energy cycles. The humans brought time onto the planet. You think you're living in the year 2023. The goofy shit they got you believing. But if you study, you're seeing that you're following a certain calendar called the Gregorian calendar. Then you also do a little bit more research. You realize the Asian people have a whole different calendar that they follow. But time is real. The Asian people have a whole different New Year from you. Time is real though.
I missed it. You already jumped in the pool. And now she's going back to check for the squirrel.
Huh?
Snow. We have lots of snow in the pool and June bugs. Jamie's putting up the railing so we don't.
They brought these things onto your planet. You taught night is real.
Are you hanging out in the shade because it's hot out?
You can't understand that the source of energy that's up there can't burn you because you burn just as hot as the sun. You don't understand that you don't have no melanin inside of you. You have carbon, neuromelanin. Human beings know why they have to put on sunscreen and sunblock. Why don't you? It's time to really remember self. Go back to your roots. Before they taught you to beg and bow down and pray, you knew you were a god that manifested anything you desired. But you've been severed from nature. You've been severed from your powers. And now you're only using 10% of your electricity. That's what you want? Yeah. All right, we're going to order it. All right. You want to drive the car?
Yeah, we can drive the car.
You think you can drive the car?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's drive together.
You want to drive together?
Yeah.
All right. I got you. I love him. You know what I'm saying? Got to give him his time too. So now, they tell you you're in the year 2023, right? Now, the Gregorian calendar, right? I told you, you're following the Gregorian calendar. Who are the Greeks, right? Let's break it down. These are Greeks. The Asians have a whole different calendar, right? Now, they tell you the Gregorian calendar, if you do a little bit of research, you don't even got to dig hard, y'all. You don't even got to dig hard. You don't even need a shovel for this. And then, there's a little bit of research, you realize the Gregorian calendar was set back 8 years. So currently, whatever time it is already 8 years beyond. Because when they created the first Gregorian calendar, they pulled it back 8 years and then started their time. Do a little research. You know what I'm saying? Then, let's break down time into 2 segments. BC, AD. What is BC? Before Christ. What is AD? After the death. The death of who? Christ. Because they keep throwing Jesus in the mix. So technically what they're saying to you is, it has been 2,023 years since Christ is dead. Pop up.
How did you bend your crib? You did. How? Fatty. When you guys were playing hide and seek. Oh, that's right. I jumped in the crib. I'm trying to 20. Okay. Are you sure you don't want crib? Number 4 out. Whoa, breaking shot.
Stop playing, man. We almost done, TikTok. We almost done. So, you're in 2023 years since Jesus has passed away. Right? So technically, you're not in year 2023. You're just 2023 years since they so-called Jesus is dead. Okay? Now I'm going to let that sink into your soul a little bit and let y'all think about what year you're actually in. So y'all can really figure this shit out for yourself. You know what I'm saying? They're saying time is divided into 2. Before Christ and after Christ. So since he's dead, it has been 2023 years. The Christians have been waiting on him to return for over 2023 years. They still waiting. That's cool and all that. I'm just saying. It has been 2023 years and that's all they saying to you. So technically, you're only 2023 years since the death of this person. So you're not really in the year of 2023 now, are you? Because if you go back, they talk about 2,000, 3,000 years before Christ was born. So how many thousands of years actually passed before this Jesus figure came into the picture? You need to think. Love y'all. You know what I'm saying? You say you can't hear me? Can y'all hear me? What that app say? You can't. I see comments that y'all can't hear me. Please tell me y'all hear what I'm just saying to y'all. Can you hear me? Alright, cool beans. Alright, man. I appreciate y'all. We talk again on Saturday. The live we just already posted up. We posted live today already where we talk about elemental beings, about the fairies and trolls and you know what I'm saying, the elves and Yoda and all them type of species, elemental beings. I broke those down. You know what I'm saying that's already on the YouTube channel. So check that out in the meantime. And I have a bunch of other content on there. We just started a YouTube channel. So when you go over there, I'm saying it might look, it's small for right now. We just starting that up, literally. So we're going to allow it to grow, give it some time to build it. I'm saying? So TikTok is the main channel I be on. I just be posting content over there that's be saved so y'all can go back and watch, rewind, research for yourself while I'm saying what I'm saying. So that's what that is about. So appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. You know what I'm saying? Peace, love, and high vibrations.